You're listening to the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
AFL. On ABC Radio.
On digital. And on the ABC Listener.
Look for the AFL button.
It's Derby 61 and Fremantle, the hottest favourites in Derby history, up against a West Coast side that has won just one game in season 2025. Perfect conditions. It's cold, about 16 degrees, but there's not a cloud in the sky. And Derbies always provide some highlights, even if they can be a little bit lopsided. What chance, West Coast, of causing the upset of upsets today? Or do Fremantle continue on their winning way? They've won their past 2, they won 8 of their past 9, and they've won 7 of the most recent 8 games played in this battle in the West. Clint Wilden with you, Mitch Turner is with me. Our experts today, players who know what this stage is all about. Peter Bell played in 15 of these games. Sharad Wellingham in 5. Gentlemen, give us your thoughts on Derby 61.
Well, I think only the most optimistic West Coast supporter would be thinking we're up for an upset today. But I think everyone who's wearing blue and gold or supporting blue and gold is looking for as close to 4 quarters as you can possibly get, because in recent times the damage has been done in a quarter. Chaz, against West Coast, they've been blown out of the water. Richmond in the third quarter, a couple of first quarters against Carlton and GWS. So can they stay in the game for a sustained period of time?
Yeah, you're exactly right, and I think I just said it off there. Which West Coast are we going to see for today? And I think that's what supporters want to have, a little bit of confirmation about which team is going to come out onto the park. I actually loved what Caleb Strong said during the week. Even though they may not have been able to have the season they wanted to be able to impact West Coast chances of playing finals. And I hope that's kind of the mentality that the players have got at the moment. They might not be having the best season, but they can still have an impact on a huge rival in the Fremantle Dockers. And you've still got to build on that rivalry that is there. We've said it plenty of times over the last couple of years that the coaches love to dull it down a little bit, make it just another game, but the fans want to see the intensity and ferocity in this game that it is renowned for. And I think that having that kind of mentality from West Coast can go a long way, and then Freo just going about it as business as usual is probably a tick for them to be able to go out there and bank the wins, bank the 4 points, and put themselves in a great chance for finals.
You're 100% right. Fremantle's growth in maturity this year, they've taken on wins at the Giants and Gold Coast. They've got themselves up against a formidable opposition at Collingwood at the MCG. Can they get to the same emotional level and pay the game the respect they're paying the bottom team when everyone's tipping a one-sided affair? Can you go out there and just do all the non-negotiables and not just subconsciously think it's going to happen?
Pedal a little bit.
It's not a deliberate thing. It's not a conscious decision, but sometimes it just infiltrates into your psyche. Are they mature enough to just be as business-like as usual?
And it happens during the week, Belly. You remember, it all comes down to how you approach your training. If training has been at an intensity, if Jalen and the coaching group have been like, boys, we have to maintain our training intensity and the level that we expect of each other, that'll translate into their performance on the ground today.
Mitch Turner's had his eye on the toss of the coin. Mitch?
A helmetless Andrew Brayshaw has won the toss against Liam Duggan. The Dockers will kick to the Graham Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium. The Eagles to the City end.
Downstairs, he's got the Cosby sweater on today. We speak of the Cash photo. Cash, what's it like?
Thanks, Clint. Yeah, it is quite chilly down here, about 16 degrees, but it is a beautiful afternoon for football. Barely a breath of wind, perfectly clear skies. Just one thing to note, Tom McCarthy for the West Coast Eagles is wearing a helmet just to protect from a cut on the head he had last week. And looking over to the benches to start Derby 61 for Fremantle, Dudley, Darcy, Young and Banfield with Erasmus as the sub. And for West Coast, Hewitt, Cole, Owies and Archer Reid on the bench with Tyrell Dewar as the sub for the Eagles.
It's already on in the middle. Pat Boss has run straight at Harley Reid, and they've had a little bit of a set to, and then Boss turns and decides I'm going to go and have a bit of a discussion with Matt Flynn as well. So the Prancy Pony, a third that he's run into, and then a fourth straight away, then went bouncing off Liam Duggan and then had it Jinby.
Did he kick a couple of goals last week?
Yeah, might have kicked 6 of them, I reckon. So it is Derby 61. It is the power and the passion of Fremantle up against West Coast gang of youths. Who prevails here in the West? Bright sunshine. Let's get it on. Derby 61 with Mitch Turner to start us.
The guns are in the middle. Harley Reid's in there for the Eagles. Bolton, Jackson, Brayshaw, Sarong for the Dockers. Derby 61. About to get underway. Jackson v Flynn in the middle. Ball goes up. Brayshaw overruns it. Harley Reid, handball. Finds Hoff in the middle of the ground. The Eagles will go forward first. Looking for a marking target in Shanahan. Punched away by McDonald. Clark able to tap it to Cox. Now O'Driscoll. The Dockers looking to move it out through right half back. Handball back in front of Clark. He went to ground. Managed to evade the tackler. Got it by hand to Chapman. Then to Brayshaw. Now O'Driscoll trying to move it away from their defensive 50. On that southern side of the ground, Brayshaw gets it to Jackson. Back to Brayshaw. Kick is under pressure. Too much pressure down the southern side. He goes out of bounds on the winger. Cash Fodena downstairs.
Yeah, just been told from West Coast, you might have noticed it out there, an extremely late change. Harry Edwards is out with a hamstring injury and Sandy Brock is in, and you can see him out there on the field.
Very late change from West Coast. So it comes back and then Bazzo steps off his line, harassed by Murphy Reid, and then he's kicked out of bounds on the full. Wasn't expecting that. Moss will kick towards right half forward. Switkowski tapped it in the direction of Bolton for the Dockers. He runs the 51 out, puts it into the right forward pocket. Well cut off. Coming out there is Sandy Brock. He takes the defensive mark and he moves it back inboard. Comes now to Hoff. Hoff for the Eagles. Out to McCarthy, who has a helmet on today, so Brayshaw not wearing his for the Dockers. McCarthy's got one on for the Eagles, and he'll move it short. And a chance again, build up through Hall. His kick was dangerous, stretching. Bazzo's just able to mark, still inside his defensive 50. No score, opening 80 seconds of Derby 61.
Little handball to the run of Jimby. Nice kick up the southern wing, finds Hall. Rolls onto his left, kicks it further afield and straight to the hands of Brennan Cox and the Dockers. Takes the intercept mark, just backward of centre wing on the southern side. Had a little look inboard, didn't like the option, so instead kicks it back from whence it came. Tracy got to the front, dropped the mark, spilled it down to Hall. Now the Eagles have it to Kelly, shares it with Williams. Then Kelly goes back by hand, not a great looking handball to Duggan, all the way back to Jimby. Just beyond left half back, his kick up the wing is a shocker. He was looking to Clay Hall, he kicked it straight to Nathan O'Driscoll. He's coming up for his third touch already, only 2 minutes into the first quarter. In the bright green boots, he rolls. Kicks into the forward pocket. Tracy flew. Flynn was there to knock it down. Duggan at the fall for the Eagles. Fires a handball through to Kelly, who kicks in the middle of Perth Stadium.
Sends it towards the outer side and up is Brennan Cox, who takes the mark for the Dockers defensively over Ryan.
Both teams have been a little bit shaky with their kicking so far.
It's told to move it on. Cox for the Dockers, out in the direction of O'Driscoll, attacking the football. McCarthy knocked it down but couldn't keep it in. Hard up against the boundary at left half back for West Coast. Clint Wilden, Mitch Turner in commentary. Our experts Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham. Good you could join us. Saturday Arvo footy on ABC Sport, Sport Digital, and of course streaming on the ABC Listen app. Thrown back into play. Jackson won it down against Flynn. Umpires spotted a free kick. Which way is it going? The way of the Dockers. It's coming here to be taken by O'Meara. It is a Dockers home crowd today. O'Meara moves it short to Clark, just far enough to be a mark.
What about 9 metres?
Yeah.
Kick?
Here's Clark putting it inside forward 50. Flying Jackson at the back. Oh no, play on the call. Umpire said no mark. Switkowski tried to tap it out. Goes in the direction of Boss. He can't gather. The Eagles do through Kelly. They work it around to Marrick. Chain of hand passes allows Marrick then to kick towards the commentary wing. Like another look at that. It's out to McDonald and he's tackled the ground and wrapped up. That's a strong tackle.
Might have been hands from opposition players or teammates prior to Jackson getting his first touch.
Shanahan who tackled him up. I can't say anything.
It's a bizarre decision, inexplicable decision.
That is a bad call from the umpire. Jackson should have been having a shot at goal inside 50.
This occasion he's tapped it straight to the path of Harley Reid, who kicks towards half forward, off hands. Cripps toe pokes it forward for the Eagles. Cox able to take the tackle. Find Warner by hand. Here go the Dockers through the middle of Perth Stadium. O'Driscoll's got a couple of options. Goes up towards Voss. Good punch by Bazzo. Knocked it straight down to a teammate in Marrick. And now the Eagles can rebound. McCarthy out towards Clay Hall. Been busy early, the Eagles youngster. Kicks inside the forward 50. Cripps takes the mark. Terrific contested grab. And Jamie Cripps will go back. The most experienced Derby player out there will have the chance for the first goal of Derby 61.
Well, a week's a long time in footy. Paddy Voss needed to move through the footy. He slowed up, which allowed his opponent to get the fist in, and then Fremantle's defence was all at sea. Cripps takes the mark inside 50.
In his 22nd Derby, Jamie Cripps' set shot is a good one. The Eagles strike first. Cripps on the board. 1 straight 6, the Eagles. The Dockers yet to score. 5.5 minutes into the first term here. Derby 61, Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
We're potentially going to see some space in the West Coast Eagles forward line, with one of the West Coast Eagles forwards coming up and playing as an extra at the stoppages and around the midfield. For the first 5 or so minutes, then it was Baker, but he's come off the bench, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's Hewitt who's made his way onto the ground now.
Sean Darcy storming on and immediately heading inside the forward 50 for Freo. Jackson back in the ruck contest. He stands in the centre circle. So a little bit of early Eagle rock about this West Coast side. They kick the opening goal. Freo fans will be unhappy though still with that mark that wasn't paid to Jackson inside Freo's forward 50. Flynn went early. Still able to win it down out after it's Reid. There's a holding decision being called here. It's going the way of Fremantle.
Against Reid for the hold on Young.
And Young takes the kick immediately. And beautiful, again, low, flat and hard. He finds Jackson. A little bit like what he did last week against Collingwood. Jackson looks inside forward 50. There's a player in O'Meara on his own, left full forward. That's ignored. It comes to Banfield instead. And he's at left half back. He kicks across back to Young, who marks. Sends it towards full forward, congested, but well done. Flynn comes across to take the mark for West Coast. They've got the first goal. They're 1 straight 6. The Dockers yet to score. 7 gone in the first term.
The Eagles go quick. They switch it out to the far side, and Tracy runs down Jimby. Catches him holding the ball. He was trying to take off at left half back, and Josh Tracy gets his first victim of the day, certainly not of his career. He'll have the set shot 50 metres out, tight angle at right half forward.
And Jimby hesitated because Fremantle locked off all exits. That means all of their mids, their wingers, had found an opponent, which meant Jimby didn't have anyone to kick to.
The Tracy-Jimby battle will be a good one today. Josh Tracy's set shot is just away to the right. He lets him off. Fremantle's first scorers are behind. That's all they have. The Eagles are 1 straight 6. Almost 8 minutes played in the first term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
By the way, from the Q Clash, Matt Rowell winning the medal for best on ground, the Marcus Ashcroft medal. Here's McCarthy. The kicking duty, stabs it to Hoff. Mark still inside his defensive 50. Hands it off to McCarthy in the right back pocket. The kick was perfect. Coming down the wing. Was able to work it to Bazzo, and his kick again was a good one to Reid of the Harley variety. Not sure why he's getting booed, though he was influential back in Derby 58. Getting a surprise win for the Eagles over the Dockers. He'll kick into the right forward pocket. Sends it long off hands. Oscar McDonald went out after it. Got it back though to Banfield, to Clark. Clever hand pass into the ground for Young. Wheels around from the left back pocket. Good mark by Amos. And he has it at left half back. Really made the work for that against Bazzo. He'll bounce up to look for an option. The Eagles by 5 points. 8.5 gone. 61.
We apologise for this break in coverage and will return with the Grandstand AFL team as soon as possible. Stay up to date with the latest AFL news at abc.net.au/grandstand. Hear from the players, the coaches, check out scores and the broadcast schedule. All at ABC Grandstand Online. We'll return with our coverage shortly.
defence really trying to play that zone, take up space, make it really hard. But that's going to open up those pockets of space, isn't it?
That was intriguing.
I think we went off air temporarily then. We're back.
We're back. Good to know. We are back. The score, by the way, the Dockers in front by a point. 10 gone in the first. Kick is inside forward 50 for the Dockers. No mark taken. Spills down to Brayshaw. Wrapped up in a good tackle. Elijah Hewitt got him. Ball up the call. Throwing aloft, inside forward 50 for Fremantle. One down by Darcy. Came to Switkowski. Kicks around the body. Amos was there. Couldn't quite mark it up against Brock. Knocked away and through for a minor score to the right-hand side of the Big Six. They lead by 2 now, Fremantle. 1-2-8 to the West Coast Eagles. 1 straight. 6-11 gone in the first.
It's going to be a big test, isn't it? Bazzo, Brock, Jimby. Can they hold the 3 key Fremantle key forwards?
Going to be very tough.
Marrick, as he often does, takes the kick out. Nice little spearing pass onto the chest of Brady Hoff. Still inside 50. He wants it back. Marrick, he leads Switkowski right into Brady Hoff. Umpire said that's okay. Eventually Hoff is called to play on. Kicks up the wing looking for Williams. Darcy got a hand in there and Shanahan is wrapped up at the bottom.
Sarong yet to touch it. He's got Brady Hoff paying particularly close attention.
4-time Glendenning Allen medalist Caleb Sarong. He's next to this pack right now with Hoff right on his tail. Dudley through traffic. Beautiful little handball out of the path of Young. Tapping it towards the forward 50. Pushed off it by Cole. Goes to the ground. Bazzo won it for the Eagles. Gave it out to Hutchinson who spilt it. Now Switkowski dives in. Kick and a half from home the Dockers' way. Brayshaw, he gets it. Set upon by a couple of Eagles. Umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Kelly and Baker wrapped him up. Have a ball up about 70 out from the Dockers attacking goal. Commentary side of Perth Stadium. Williams got to the front of Darcy, tapped it down. Sarong was worried off it by Hoff, crashing in Baker. Wrapped up by Frederick. They'll ball it up once more. Still a 2-point margin favouring the Dockers. Tap was roved by Hewitt. Quick kick on the boot lands in the arms of Bailey Banfield on centre wing. Commentary side. Handballs across to Clark, who will switch into the middle of the ground. Warner is distracted by the sun as it goes across about half of the stadium right now. The Dockers clean it up and they can go to the far side where McDonald takes the mark.
Just pauses. Decides to take a couple of steps towards Brockman. He'll kick towards right half forward. Jimmy came from a long way back. Won it to ground, wheeled around, tried to gather it himself. First occasion missed it. Second occasion gathered it. Put his head down over the football. Collided with by Sarong. And it goes over the boundary line for a throw in right half forward for Fremantle.
Just a bit of a frustration of mine. Those long down the line that Fremantle have, they often don't have any front and centre representation.
Spun in. Darcy thought he had it to himself for a moment. Instead it comes out to the Eagles and Hall gets a kick that bounces on the logo southern wing. Scooped up by Liam Ryan. Hand pass to Hewitt, running by Kelly. Kicks the Eagles inside attacking. 50 wants Owies. Good spoil from Banfield. The ball bounced away from Hutchison. Able to gather Frederick. Hutchison follows up, wraps him up, wins the free kick for West Coast. Great pressure coming from Hutchison. Wouldn't allow Frederick to get away. And he has it about 53 from goal. Right half forward for West Coast. He'll need an option, you'd think. And he'll send it towards the teeth of goal. Darcy's there. An Eagle went to ground. And it is going to be a free kick to West Coast. It's going against Chapman. It's going to Brockman.
Yeah, just tried to clear the way for Darcy to be able to take the mark and was too heavy-handed on Brockman. Clear free kick.
Well, I reckon Brockman set him up beautifully and maybe seduced the umpire a little bit too there, but you've just got to be so careful when you come in those situations to not overcook it.
Yep.
When you're grounding your opponent. Brockman went to ground, free kick.
And Tyler Brockman is pretty much right in front. He'll kick from no more than 15 outs. Brockman is in. He kicks his 12th of the season. And West Coast second of the afternoon. And they lead again, the Eagles. They're 2 straight 12 to Fremantle 1-2-8. 14 and a half gone in the opening term of Derby 61. Earlier today on ABC Sport, the Suns by 66 points over Brisbane. Long kicking 4 for the Gold Coast.
There was that open space. I think it may have been Owies who was leading back towards goal after that transition through the middle of the ground. And once again, it was potentially 2 one-on-ones West Coast had in their forward 50, which is probably what they're looking for, trying to get it up and through out the back. but they'll take the free kick at the top of the goal square anytime.
Toby Green, by the way, has been offered a one-match ban for striking for Isaac Heaney last night in the Sydney Derby. Intentional conduct, low impact, high contact. One-match ban offered to Toby Green.
Ball back in the middle. Darcy for the Dockers v Williams. It's going against Darcy for a block. Bailey J. Williams, free kick. Right in the centre circle, wheels and goes. The numbers are rushing forward. It's inside the attacking 50, flying high at the front. Archer Reid couldn't mark. Hewitt came through, knocks it back to Reid. Falls to Baker, handball into space. Only favours Clark of the Dockers. Able to whack it on the left boot outside 50, but Cole is waiting there for the Eagles. Numbers flooding inside the Eagles attacking 50 as Cole stands with ball 75 metres from home. Kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Big flying pack. No one can mark. Cox at ground level did well. Handballed it to Clark, who maybe cleverly just let it go out of bounds.
Reasonably positive signs for West Coast early. They've just appeared a bit sharper. Their pressure's good, and Fremantle just a tad lethargic.
Ball will be tossed back in, about 35 metres around from the Eagles' attacking goal. Right forward pocket, city end of Perth Stadium. Flynn over the top, tapped it straight into the path of a couple of Dockers. They both overran it. Baker, handball to Flynn, to Harley Reid through traffic, and umpire says
Essentially incorrect disposal.
An illegal disposal by Matt Flynn it was in the end. And the free kick is going to Michael Frederick in the left back pocket. The Dockers trail by 4 points. They have possession, 16.5 gone in the first.
Frederick comes towards the commentary wing. Up is Cole behind him. Jackson takes the mark. Plays on to Murphy Reid. Bursting through. Long kick inside forward 50. Perfect the Voss. He said, just come into my arms as the Sharon arrived. And he marks about 45 from goal. Slightly tighter than a 45-degree angle to the left.
Well, it is the beauty of having Luke Jackson playing as an inside mid. He was just isolated in a one-on-one, ended up being a one-on-none really, but he's a dangerous threat at aerial contest when playing as a mid particularly.
Career high 6 goals last week. Patrick Voss boots across the 50, kicks on its way, he's missed. Out to the left-hand side. Minor score, 139 the Dockers. The Eagles are 2 straight 12, 17.5 gone in the first.
Quick kick in for the Eagles. Kelly, the recipient. Still inside defensive 50, handballs it to Marek, who runs towards the arc, now kicks up the wing. Jackson floating in on the side, can't mark. Shanahan knocked it down for West Coast. Flynn became rover. His handball out towards the boundary. Cripps is wrapped up by O'Meara right at the interchange gates. We'll have a ball in.
And again at that, front and centre to that LDL, 3 West Coast jumpers, no Fremantle jumpers. They did well to force the out of bounds there, Freo.
Caleb Sarong standing at the gates to come on. Still yet to have a disposal, the 4-time Glendenning Allen medalist. Ball tossed back in. Ricochets to Bolton. Now Murphy Reid. A little bit of magic through the pack. Able to find Dudley in the middle of the centre square. Decides instead of going forward, he'll go laterally to Carl Warner. Southern side of the centre square. Dudley continued his run. Now has it on the attacking edge. Thought about going quickly. Wanted a 50-metre. The Baker moving on the mark. Wasn't forthcoming. Goes short to Brayshaw. Not 15. Plays on. Unloads from the pace of 50. He misses to the left. And it's another minor score for the Dockers. 1-4-10 Fremantle. West Coast a perfect 2 straight 12. 18.5 played in the first.
Oh, McCarthy was reckless. His kick-in was trying to be short to Duggan. Amos said, no, I'll have that instead. And he marks it right forward pocket for Fremantle. And he can go back and have a shot from 45 out, but it is tight up against the boundary. Probably no more than 4 or 5 in from the white stripe.
Well, it's perfect game scenario, or picking up game sense, because 4 kick-ins. I think West Coast have done that exact kick-in on all 4 occasions.
Jai Amos, 3 disposals, 2 goals last week. Jai Amos, the kick is on its way. He has steered it through. And Fremantle take back the lead at the 20-minute mark of the opening term of Derby 61. 2-4-16 the Dockers. The Eagles 2 straight 12. Clint Wilden with you alongside Mitch Turner. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Radio. Our experts Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
Tom McCarthy's AFL career is in its infancy, and you'd have to say that it's uncharacteristic a kicking error like that, because he has been unbelievable with his kicking since coming into this West Coast Eagles team via the mid-season draft. That was a poor error, and Amos, who's rediscovered some form of late, couldn't believe his luck.
Just got a message. Shout out to the Ashton family who are tuning in from Rhodes in Greece.
Wow.
Loving hearing the call. Go Eagles. They say, sending luck from the gods.
Hopefully it's not too. I think it was 45 degrees there last week.
Well, they might need some luck, but it's a good start for West Coast. They just trail by 4 points. The Dockers back on top now in the middle. Jackson taps it down. Ryan, though, favoured by the knock. He socketed off the ground. Clark couldn't take clean possession. Hewitt could. His handball to Flynn, who was tackled off it by Brayshaw. Players crash back in at centre half forward for the Eagles.
Maybe West Coast Colossus of Rhodes.
I do have a little God one.
Jezza.
I've got it in the back pocket for later. We'll see if it works out. Ball tossed back up. Tapped in the path of Baker. Couldn't find a teammate by hand. Young crashing in there for Fremantle. The Dockers eventually through Brayshaw to Banfield. Extraction. Good kick. Up the wing. Marked by Josh Tracy. Jindy wants the outside 5. Cripps is coming in to man the mark. That's 50, is it not? No? Okay. We get confused by the stand rule again. Tracy takes the kick up to left half forward. Voss in front. Too strong for Brock. Has a couple of players running forward. Here is Murphy Reid in the pocket. Uses the body well. Couldn't take the mark, and he knocks it out of bounds in the left forward pocket for a boundary throw-in.
And
again,
again,
it was 50 when the player moves outside 5. Another one.
Maybe hadn't been called the first. Yeah,
the umpire said outside 5.
Out,
and
but
Cripps came in.
Cripps was talking to the umpire the whole time, saying, "Where can I go?" After last week, entirely unsure about anything with that rule. As Jackson punches it down, and Murphy Reid immediately, as he gathers it up against the boundary, is tackled by Marek across the line for another throw-in.
39 in Rhodes, I've been informed.
39. 16 here.
I'm very pleased to be here, but 39 in Rhodes sounds pretty good as well.
It's good to be here. Just nice to be alive as it's thrown in. Comes down to Hayden Young. Got it out again to Brayshaw. To O'Meara. To Jackson. To O'Meara. Hand pass to Brayshaw. Back to Banfield at left half forward. Step left. Hand pass right. Found Clark. Kicked inside forward 50. Big fly from the side from the Eagles. Going up Hutchison. Spills out the back. Eagles still trying to get rid of it. McCarthy went to ground. Going in. Dudley tries to effect the tackle. It's locked in. There's about 4 amongst all of that. O'Driscoll 1 and so too Owies. The umpire said, "I'll be balling it up." There's a player
Voss
off the ball. Harley Reid is down.
And Voss was involved in that.
Yep. You'd hope there's some remonstration here from West Coast.
Voss actually turns like he's looking for remonstration. And it's going to be Hewitt that provides some. And Hewitt's got a fair bit to say to him as well. They bounce off each other's chests as the Eagles go beyond defensive 50. Marek's able to find Brockman, who marks it right half back. The Dockers by 4. 23 gone in the first. We'll hear more about that, I'm sure.
They continue to share words. Right next to us now, it's been another free kick against Patrick Voss, spotted by the out-of-area umpire. It's going to Elijah Hewitt for the altercation. We see the replay down the bottom. Clint can keep an eye on that one. Well, it's just to check off the ball by the look of it as the kick goes up the line, off hands out of bounds. It was just a step-in bump from Voss.
Yeah, into the chest of Reid, but Reid wasn't looking. He had no idea it was coming, and that's what saw him knocked to ground.
Yeah, and it was undisciplined. Reid had been involved in a minor interaction before that, but undisciplined from Pat Voss.
So he's given away 2 free kicks there, Patrick Voss. Ball tossed back in, attacking side of the wing, favouring the Eagles. Brayshaw off hands, roves it beautifully. Handball to Switkowski, looking for Bolton inside the forward 50. 1-on-1 v Cole. Cole did well, tapped it though straight to Dudley, knocks it into his own path. Comes now to Bolton, he taps it out towards O'Driscoll. Back to Dudley, on the 50 at right half forward. He spears the ball inside to Frederick, who marks about a metre in from the boundary in the right forward pocket. Graham Farmer, freeway end of Perth Stadium.
And that's the maximum damage exit from stoppage that Andrew McQualter will be trying to prevent at all possible. So corridor, unpressured, opens right up for Fremantle.
Michael Frederick from the tightest of angles starts the party early for Fremantle. Threads the needle, gets his first. And now the Dockers fans are starting to find their voice as they pull clear. 3-4-22 the Dockers, 2 straight 12 the Eagles. Just 25 minutes into the first term. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wilden for ABC Sport. Our experts, both Derby players, Sharon Wellingham and Peter Bell.
Two exquisite kicks. Was it the one from Dudley going inside 50 was beautiful to start with, and then as soon as that came off the boot, Frederick Hewitt was going through and started celebrating, finger in the air straight away, right up against the boundary line. What's that, 35, 40 out? Exquisite kick.
And Andy Brayshaw just ran through a channel with no pressure at all. Switkowski was up at the stoppage as a forward, and he immediately turned corridor to get the handball receive, and the ground just opened up for Fremantle.
Darcy against Flynn. They stare off across the centre circles. Good bounce. They might have had a tap, and then Darcy got a second one down for Young. Beautifully done. Hand pass for the Dockers to Sarong. Now to Frederick inside forward 50. Steps around McCarthy. What a goal. He's got his second. And that was slick. Fremantle 4-4-28. West Coast 2 straight 12. The Eagles fans were hoping that their club might, let me down easy. Not with what we're starting to see now. Freo are up and about late stages of the first.
Kelly just at the stoppage got caught offside with Young making his way out the back, front side for Fremantle. As soon as you're offside at the centre bounce, it opens right up, doesn't it, Billy?
And for West Coast to be in this match, they've got to at least minimise Fremantle's stoppage impact, and that certainly wasn't the case on that occasion.
Still a Fremantle doubling at the moment, 10-5 in terms of clearances.
A few minutes left in this first term. The Eagles have had patches this year where they let sides get a massive run on them. They can't hope for quarter time. There's too long left for that. They need to do something to stop the Dockers, who are going out of the middle again. Darcy down to Brayshaw, to Young, inside 50. Tracy can't take the mark, did the bodywork, couldn't complete it. And Bazzo comes through and is tackled 35 metres out, directly in front.
Just the penetration on Hayden Young's kick there. It was an extra 5 to 7 metres that so dangerous.
Flynn reaches round Darcy, taps it down. It comes the way of the Eagles, though. Duggan wrapped up. Darcy followed up, became tackler. Since they may have just stepped it up a gear after a little scare early here, the Dockers. Ball tossed up. Flynn taps it out into space. Duggan the first one there. Harassed by a couple of Dockers. Dudley the final tackler. Wraps him up again. Will go again. Will toss it up in the left forward pocket. Fremantle's attacking end.
Throwing up. Flynn had a go at it. Came down to Hutchison for the Eagles. And get a clearing kick away towards right half back. One-on-one battle here. McDonald juggles the mark. He's able to take it. Left half forward for the Dockers. Donald will send it back inside forward 50. Jackson flew. Punch came at the back from Bazzo. Spills down into traffic. It's locked in. Hall had it. Tackled by Tracy. Ball up at full forward for Fremantle. They lead by 16 points. 28 gone in the first. Flynn won it down. There's a free kick. It's a holding decision. It was the controlling umpire who's called it as well. And it's coming back here to be paid to the Dockers. And it'll be in the hands of Young.
And he's a big problem at the moment for West Coast, and they do have a few. But this will be his 8th disposal. He's had the 4 clearances already as well. And it's been the impact from his disposals as well. Brayshaw's accumulated with 9, but it's been Young with the damage.
Up to 159 metres gained as well, just off the 4 kicks.
Hayden Young, beautiful left foot, delivers. Punches his chest as he turns to the crowd. Fremantle now have 5-4-34 to the Eagles' 2 straight 12. The Dockers lead all of a sudden has exploded to be 22 points at the 29-minute mark at the opening turn.
Well, it's those patches again from West Coast, isn't it? You thought there's a little bit of fight there. There's some intensity and some control of the football, but a lapse in concentration. There's still a few minutes left in the quarter, but over the last, you'd say 8 minutes, they've scored 4 goals. So just an inability to halt momentum, which comes from experience.
What are you doing? Is this where you need your senior players, Belly, Charity, out there to try and just gain something?
Well, right now you need repeat stoppages.
You need to stop the centre bounce.
You can't have it just being waltzed out of there.
You've got Liam Baker, one of the more experienced players. He's standing at half forward. In the middle for the Eagles, it's Hoff, Kelly and Harley Reid. Darcy lost it, and then got it again out of the middle. Pirouette out of trouble. Handball to Brayshaw. He's all over the Eagles at the moment. The Dockers go back inside 50. Marrick spills the mark. Dudley and Tracy are there to lay pressure. Tracy laid on top of him. It squirted the ball out into the hands of Dudley, who was tackled. There is purple momentum everywhere. Ball up. 15 metres out from the Dockers' attacking goal. Darcy B. Flynn. Flynn did well. Tapped it out. Bolton overran it. Dudley through traffic. Handball to Hayden Young on the right side this time. Right foot, right results. Hayden Young gets 2 in a row. And this is a Dockers domination all of a sudden. 6-4-40 Fremantle. 2 straight 12 the Eagles. Hayden Young joins Michael Frederick as a multiple goal kicker. And wow, since the 20-minute mark, they've kicked 5 goals to no score, the Dockers.
And sadly, any resistance seems to have completely evaporated here for West Coast. That was really simple clearance work, no pressure at all.
Even the hit from Flynn,
Yeah.
he had to spare, and Clay Hall sitting in the defensive sweeping zone for West Coast, got a clear hand to it and hit it to where Fremantle are lined up.
He's the one, isn't he, Young? I know they're a very even role-driven team, but he is the... He's like a finals player. I know he hasn't played a lot, but you can see him influencing the outcome of finals.
On the bounce, one down by Flynn. You'll get the free kick too, being held here. So the Eagles will take it back. Eventually, Kelly goes to gather. His hand pass. Bailey Williams, I beg your pardon, in the middle. So Bailey Williams with the free kick. Hands it off again to Jimby. That's a thumping kick inside forward 50, but well read by Brennan Cox. Just floated through from full back to take the mark. Beautifully read. We'll steer it out towards right half back. Banfield marks. Just pauses for a moment in the shadows. Being cast by the roof from the northern wing. Takes a step inboard. Banfield will deliver a long kick towards the southern wing. Through the hands of Darcy. Spilled down at the back to an eagle in Duggan. Kicks back towards left half forward. Banfield allows it to bounce. Baker's right with him. This is a battle. Baker pushed Banfield out from underneath it. Gathered but kicks straight back into Banfield. Had some support from Chapman as well. He's tackled by Baker. Ball spills out. Still there to be won. The umpire says play on. Ripping it away from congestion. It was Banfield for the Dockers again. To McDonald, who cleverly plays a short pass that's marked by Amir and a sweeping hand pass through to Young.
Young is all over the Eagles at the moment. So too is this man in Brayshaw. He loops the handball to him. Kicks towards half forward. Voss had to become spoiler. Knocked it away from Marrick into the path of Tracy. So mobile for a big man. He spins out of trouble and hits Dudley in the pocket. And Fremantle will have a set shot after the siren. Dudley will be looking for his second. He'll kick from about 45 metres out. A tight angle to the right.
Great agility from Josh Tracy and skill execution.
There aren't many forwards in the comp, key forwards that can move like that.
Certainly are not.
Isaiah Dudley to make it 6 goals in a row for the Dockers in Derby 61. Isaiah Dudley, set, shot, won't score. It's punched away from the behind line. That is the end of the first quarter. It started well for the Eagles, but then Fremantle, with the last 5 goals of the term, they head to quarter time, 6-4-40. West Coast, 2 straight 12, a 28-point margin, Clint Wilden.
So they kicked the 5 goals heading in to quarter time, the Fremantle Dockers. 2 to Frederick, 2 to Young. Both of them kicked them in a real rush. And Jai Amos and Isaiah Dudley, the other goal kickers for Fremantle. While for West Coast, their 2 goals from the boot of Tyler Brockman and Jamie Cripps, the most experienced Derby player out there in Derby 22 today. Earlier, Gold Coast by 66 points in the Q Clash over Brisbane, Long with 4 goals, and Rao won the medal for best on ground. But wherever you're listening, on ABC Radio, Sport Digital, and of course streaming on the ABC Listen app, look for the AFL button. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Everyone's an expert at something. It's what makes us all special. If only that were true.
Join Tom Gleeson for brand new Hard Quiz.
No expert subject turned away.
Wednesday nights on ABC TV and ABC iView.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Marek, now the Eagles can rebound. McCarthy out towards Clay Hall, been busy early, the Eagles youngster. Kicks inside the forward 50, Cripps takes the mark. Jamie Cripps' set shot is a good one. The Eagles strike first.
Oh, McCarthy was reckless. His kick-in was trying to be short to Duggan. Amos said, no, I'll have that instead, and he marks it. Right forward pocket for Fremantle. Jai Amos, the kick is on its way. He has steered it through. Good bounce. They've had a tap, and then Darcy got a second one down for Young. Beautifully done. A hand pass for the Dockers to Sarong. Now to Frederick, inside forward 50. Steps around McCarthy. What a goal. He's got his second. And that was slick.
Darcy v Flynn. Flynn did well. Tapped it out. Bolton overran it. Dudley through traffic. Handball to Hayden Young on the right side this time. Right foot, right results. Hayden Young gets 2 in a row.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
From the 20-minute mark of the opening term, Fremantle have torn this game apart. They kicked 5 goals unanswered on their way to a 28-point lead at the first break. 6-4-40 to 2 straight 12. The Dockers lead over the Eagles. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary. Our experts, both of them have played plenty of these games. Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
Well, I actually thought West Coast were reasonable in the first part of that first quarter. Both teams were a little bit shaky, but West Coast had a couple of moments. But then, as Clint articulated from the 20-minute mark, it was all Fremantle. And some of these stats, Shaz, are pretty worrying. There's the 4 goals from stoppage for Fremantle, plus 23 disposals, plus 7 clearances, plus 12 contested possession. And unless Andrew McQualter and his team can find some strategy and some fortitude, it's got the hallmarks of being a game that's out of their control.
Well, I think it's the second one. I think it's got to be some fortitude, some strength within the side and belief that they can actually have an impact in the contest. They've probably got to choke up the stoppages and make it really ugly, drag it right into the trenches, not enabling Fremantle's... I think the one that was most damning was the Brayshaw one, just running straight corridor through the stoppage. You just can't have that, especially on your or your offensive side of the centre square. They've got to find something to drag them down into the trenches and slow the ball down, because it's just waltzing out far too easy. And like you said, the 3 key forwards for Fremantle are so damaging. They're so damaging. They can't be given an inch of space. The exciting one for me today is Dudley coming back in. He's had a really good influence. He's been exciting around the arc, putting it inside 50. Also hit the scoreboard as well. 7 touches, first game back. It's a really nice impact.
And from a Fremantle perspective, this is the beauty of when you've got weapons in your armoury. So Brady Hoff's done a great job on Caleb Sarong. Mm-hmm. Caleb Sarong's just had the 2 disposals and hasn't really been a factor in the first quarter. But then what happens? Hayden Young comes in, has 10, 5 clearances and 2 goals. You can't tag them all. So if they lock down on Young, you know what's going to happen. Sarong will get off the chain. Or Brayshaw will continue, who's already had 11 disposals as well. I think that's the big story of the first quarter about what Hayden Young could become for Fremantle.
Thoughts of former Dockers captain Peter Bell and former Eagle and Collingwood Premiership players Sharad Wellingham here at quarter time. Some of the numbers for you. Team-wise, contested possessions, Fremantle lead that by 11. They lead the inside 50 count 16-10. They lead, the Eagles lead the hit-outs 12-10, but the clearances, as mentioned, Fremantle's way 14-7. The tackle count, the Eagles lead 14-12. Individually, Brayshaw leads all comers on the ground, 11 disposals. Hayden Young, 10 touches, 5 clearances, 2 goals. Banfield and Dudley have 7 as well for the Dockers. And for the Eagles, Tim Kelly finding the footy. He has 8 disposals. Bazzo and Marek with 6. Duggan and Hall with 5. But it's the Dockers by 28 points.
Scores from stoppages, by the way. 4-3-27 Freo. 0 zilch for West Coast. Andrew McQualter spent a long time dragging his players in that quarter-time huddle. Even he would know, though. Talk is cheap. They need to hit back on the scoreboard. They trail by 28 points. They were absolutely the red-hot favourites, Fremantle, and they're playing like it now from that, as I said, time on in that opening term. Flynn again, up against Jackson. Flynn wins it down for the Eagles. Reed's out after it. Sarong got there first. Hands it off to Jackson. Will kick inside forward 50. Coming Boss! Got hands to it, couldn't mark. Switkowski clever. Slapped it to Murphy Reed. Tried to hand pass it back to Amos. He couldn't gather. Switkowski could. Hand pass to Amos again. Hand pass back to Young. He's at right half forward. He'll wheel around, kick back inside forward 50. Big pack up. Marrick at the back. Hand pass to no one in particular. Sarong tried to meet the football, got taken high by Reed. And he'll get the free kick.
Well, my theory's about to be put to the test because I reckon Brady Hoff has gone to Hayden Young. So will Caleb Sarong now get off the chain?
Sarong decides to play on by hand immediately to Banfield. Banfield kicks towards goal. He misses to the left-hand side. Minor score. 6-5-41 the Dockers. 2 straight 12 the Eagles. Opening minute of the second term of Derby 61 on ABC Radio. This is Saturday Arvo footy on ABC Sport.
Again, they go quick from the kick in, the Eagles. Duggan receives in the pocket, kicks up the wing. Big pack flies, no mark taken. The fall of the ball, Owies gathered for West Coast. Handball to Hewitt, then to Cripps, whose handball backwards towards Duggan set him a task. And Tracy was able to come in and knock the ball out of bounds. So boundary throwing inside Fremantle's attacking half.
Almost thought that was on the full of Josh Tracy.
Very
Close, but Duggan was right there and didn't protest too much. It might have just nipped the grass. It's going to be tossed back in just beyond right half forward for the Dockers. Jackson to the front, was looking for Sarong. It bounced away from him. O'Meara trying to tap it to a teammate. Harley Reid gathered it, tackled. Sarong will win the free kick. Stands 60 metres out. Sarong kicks inside the forward 50. Tracy was the big flyer, couldn't mark. It spills to Bolton. Balks one way, then the other. His snap is bending way too far. It's out of bounds on the full in the left forward pocket. The Eagles will retake possession. They still trail by 29 points 2 minutes into the second term.
Sandy Brock might have an issue from that last aerial contest.
Now, Hall's kick was to Marrick in the right back pocket, and then he's been pinged under pressure from Amos, not doing enough to keep the ball in play. It's a free kick to Amos.
It's an odd one because the boundary umpire had actually called it out of bounds.
He had.
I think that's what Ryan Marrick was claiming.
You often see those ones let go when they don't get rid of the ball when it has been called out of bounds.
Jai Amos isn't confident, keeps glancing inboard to see if there's an option. Nothing presents. So he's decided that he's going to go for goal himself, and he's missed the lot. The reason why he was not confident, it's gone narrow. So West Coast have it where they made a meal of it about 15 seconds ago. That's at right full back. The kicking duties to come here for McCarthy.
Sandy Brock staying out there in the meantime. Like he may have got a knock to the nose by the look. A late in for Harry Edwards if you're joining us. Right on the stroke of bounce down. As late as you could possibly get as the Eagles chip back into the goal square. McCarthy took the mark and Murphy Reid. Just a little brain fade.
Yeah, it was a brain fade for such a smart player. He didn't understand you can't go into that area.
He ran in a bit too close to man the mark, and the Eagles get the 50-metre penalty. McCarthy up the middle to Baker, who goes out wide to the southern side. Brockman can mark on the attacking side of the wing. Not a lot of movement ahead of him.
Stagnant from the West Coast Eagles forwards as well.
Steady kicks it up nice and high, hoping for a mark. Reid flew behind, couldn't take it. Big fist came out. Sarong clever in the middle of his 50. Tapped it towards Tracy, who tapped it towards O'Meara. Gives it to Murphy Reid. Low darting kick up the wing into the path of Switkowski. 1-on-1 v McCarthy. Steps around, breaks the tackle, then kicks a wobbler towards half forward. It's an awkward ball for Marrick. Couldn't take it on the half volley. Frederick gathers, takes a bounce, takes a second. Banana for his third. And salutes with the finger does Freddie. Michael Frederick leads all comers on the ground with 3 goals. And the Eagles fall further behind. Fremantle out by 35 points. 7-5-47. West Coast are 2 straight. 4.5 minutes played in the second term. Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell are our experts here on ABC Sport.
Well, Belly, what's your view on keeping your feet as a defender just outside your defensive 50?
Yeah, well, you're out of the play, aren't you? You're out of the contest if you fall over. That's exactly what happened. We had a caller this morning on Sports Talk, didn't we, Clint? You're turning around smiling at me, questioning Michael Frederick and his impact. Well, he's had a pretty big impact so far in this contest.
Anything to worry about with Brayshaw's?
He's going in for a shepherd, wasn't he?
Going
And
in
he
for a
just
shepherd.
got Marek high. Yeah. I think it'll be okay, but it'll be looked at, yeah. As they all are.
I first thought when he kicked his second to our call this morning.
Well, 12 scoring shots now to 2.
The restart. Jackson got the fingertips to it up against Flynn, but it's Flynn who can gather it off the ground. Hand pass in the direction of Reid. He's up against Young. Young slid out, slapped it in the direction of Sarong. Did really well. Sarong then went to left half back to Clark. Kicked in the direction of Dudley. Marek won it to ground. Hall mops it up for the Eagles. Brockman lost his footing, bounced back up, got a hand pass to Hoff for West Coast. He'll kick towards Baker, who marks. 51 out from goal. It's near about right half forward. Sends it to full forward, going up, unable to mark. Disappointment coming the way of the Eagles with that. They'll go beyond defensive 50, down towards Amos for the Dockers. Jimby, run down by Switkowski.
Jai Amos across halfback, must be lost.
Great effort from Switkowski. Somebody goes short and he found Chapman.
That's 50.
It should be 2 against Cripps.
Yeah, it's unravelling a little bit, isn't it?
Cripps or Owies, both of them just absolute brain fade there.
Not a great thing when there's 2 of them that you could ping. Chapman decides to play on by hand. Clark runs by to the attacking point of the centre square. Kicks towards right full forward. Voss thought he was being infringed. Umpires say play on. Cole gathered the footy, gave it to Hutchison, has the backtrack. Oh, tackled by Jackson. Just got the hand pass away according to the officials, and then it goes over the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in. Brock right alongside O'Driscoll. Throw-in right half forward here for Fremantle. 7-4-47 to 2 straight 12 the Eagles. 6 gone in the second term.
Wallaby spun back in. Just beyond the attacking 50 for the Dockers. Flynn got to the front, tapped it down to Hutchinson. Quick hands to Baker. Back to Hutchinson. Well worked by the Eagles down the commentary wing. Kick up towards half forward. Archer Reid just worked off it by Brennan Cox, who just a bit too strong, a bit too experienced. Took the mark. Handball to Ryan, who Brennan's in a bit of trouble. Now to Chapman. His kick smothered by Ryan. Somehow squirted back to Brennan Cox, who again just shoves off the tackle from Archer Reid. Then handballs it to no one in particular. Hutchinson eventually gathers, is knocked out of bounds. He's just too strong for Archer Reid.
Yeah.
Brennan Cox. I was just watching the Brayshaw on Marek incident. It'd be a close watch on how Ryan Marek goes, because he got him in the head going for the shepherd, and it is one that will be interesting post today, depending on how Ryan Marek is. Ball spun back in. Darcy tapped it down. The Eagles, though, win it. Hutchinson to Reid. Here goes Harley. Takes the bounce. Runs the 45. Sets his sights on the goals and nails it. Harley says, get up. He's hyped. He's giving them plenty of reasons to love him, the Eagles fans, although not too many in the house. Purple fans aren't giving much at all. They are well and truly sat in their seat. 3 straight 18, the Eagles, 7-5-47. 29-point lead to the Dockers. I reckon his kick derby goals that had a bit more of a reaction from the crowd than that.
And I questioned Hutchison's decision not to go corridor, because Hewitt was open corridor side, but faith in Harley Reid is obviously there. Beautiful goal, just tucked it under the wing, takes a bounce. Took it upon it, was kicked that from just inside 50.
The degree of difficulty on that goal was pretty high, and he just made it look so simple.
Just took it upon himself too. That's a terrific goal. Freo fans didn't like it at all, as I absolutely understand. But
as the hush,
that was magnificent from Harley Reid.
Someone's had a warning for 666. I think it was Fremantle.
Hoff just giving Sarong a couple of nudges in the back as the ball's bounced again. Darcy won it down. Here's Reid again, bursting through. Takes a bounce. Got a hand pass away to Kelly. Runs the 51 out. Brockman marks. The unguarded moment there for the Eagle in the right forward pocket in the bright sunshine. He's about 45 out from goal and a metre in from the boundary line.
West Coast turned for some centre bounce ascendancy, and it was Harley Reid that time. Caught Luke Jackson napping. Got goal side of him. Weaved his way through the centre square, and Tim Kelly summed it up really well for the kick inside 50.
And Brockman kicked back-to-back goals for West Coast. Has to do something more about this margin. It's a hop, a skip and a jump. And 45 metres out, tight in the right forward pocket. That's across the face. Oh! Hutchison flew. He got the booster seat from a couple of teammates. Went up. Couldn't take the mark, though. It's over the boundary line for a throw-in. Still deep into attack for West Coast, who still got a bit of work to do on the scoreboard. They trail by 29 points, 11 gone in the second.
Is this the Eagles' response? Can they make it 2 goals in a row? Toss back in. Flynn trying to tap it towards Ryan. It came to Sarong. His kick smothered. Warner wrapped up by Cripps. They'll ball it up. 35 metres out from the Eagles' attacking goal. Darcy v. Flynn. Flynn taps it towards goal. Hewitt tried to burst through, lost the ball. Now Kelly is wrapped up by Jackson. They'll go again. They're just pushing the Eagles. Working hard for their goals. Flynn's doing a pretty good job on this occasion, though. Darcy tapped it straight down to Ryan. Tried to squeeze the handball to Clark.
A free kick. It'll go to Kelly for the hold against Jordan Clark.
Big tug of the jumper there just as he was about to break away from the clearance.
And again, just the last few minutes, second to the ball, Fremantle. The sign of their maturity. Are you still willing to pay the price when it's all on your terms?
So Tim Kelly will have the free kick for a hold. Left forward pocket. He's had 7 disposals coming up for number 11. Tim Kelly will go around the corner from 35. He bends it beautifully. The Eagles have responded. 2 goals in a row after 6 straight for Fremantle. And they are a perfect 4 straight 24 West Coast. Fremantle a 7-5-47. The margin's back to 23 points. 12 minutes into the second quarter. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wilden for ABC Sport, our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell.
Yeah, just lazy from Jordan Clark, although Kelly did have a fistful of jumper before that, but umpire penalised Clark, and yeah, the last few minutes have been really strong for West Coast.
It's certainly been better, much better, after 6 unanswered goals, as we said. 35-point lead at one stage for Fremantle. As Mitch just told you, back to 23 points. There's a little bit of hush around the crowded house here in the West. See crowd in. They're predominantly purple, though. As Bailey J. Williams won it down, there's a holding decision being paid here. It's going the way of Fremantle. Will come back and taken by Brayshaw, running by Clark. Long kick inside, forward 50. Oh, courage. Marek went back, crashed into by Amos. Umpire spotted a free kick. He says it's a push in the back, and Marek really got absolutely crunched in that contest.
Yeah, not sure.
Not sure what that free kick is for.
In fact, he got pushed in the back, Amos.
That's why. The push, actually, he got pushed in the back then by, was it Brock at the back of all of that?
Yep.
So that's interesting.
That was almost, you went too hard at that contest.
Yeah. So anyway, Marek will race away. He'll kick towards right half back. Wanted Baker. Clark chopped it off. Clark gathered. Baker tackled him to ground. Umpire says we'll ball it up. Intriguing one. If the push had gone against the Eagles or by Amos, I would have understood it. But you're right. It was a push by an Eagle into Amos that led to Marek getting pushed.
Baker was a bit unlucky there too, probably not to get a
should have been a free kick for holding the ball.
Free kick was a great tackle on Clark. He should have got a free kick just for the fact that he didn't let Jordan Clark run away from him. He's done to pretty much every opponent he's had this season. Ball tossed up. Hutchinson gathers. He's tackled to ground. He's pinned. Wow, tackled by Jackson. That was pretty hot. Well, if that was holding the ball, I can promise you the Baker tackle on Clark should have been holding the ball as well. Jackson free kick. Standing attacking side of the southern wing. The big man rolls, kicks into the left forward pocket. Looking for a marking target. Big fist by Brock. Straight to the path, though, of O'Meara. Quick handball to Brayshaw. Kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Big pack flies. Off hands. Down to Carl Warner. Carl is missed. You heard the voice guy. He hasn't kicked an AFL goal.
And kicked it like that too. Clammed up. It was a simple shot.
My hands were already on my head.
7-6-48, the Dockers, 4 straight 24. I thought that was his moment.
Should have been too, and he would know it. Eagles by a hand. It's beyond defensive 50. Eventually to McCarthy. Kicks towards the logo commentary wing. Ryan flew. Chapman stayed down. Chapman marks for the Dockers. Sends it in ball to Banfield. Hand pass to Clark. Runs through the centre circles. Wobbly kick inside forward 50 onto the chest of McCarthy.
How much value are Fremantle getting from those sorts of entries inside 50? That's 3 for Jordan Clark handball receives that have amounted to nothing.
It was between fullback and centre half back. McCarthy just stood there. And then he flares it out to Brockman. And he'll go out to Cole, who's at right half back, hard up against the boundary.
Almost got run down. Cole eventually kicks under pressure and kicked it straight to Luke Ryan. Takes the intercept mark. Short kick to Banfield at centre half back now to Frederick. Through the middle of the ground. Has Jackson running forward. Able to mark and play on. Goes into the pocket. Dudley, the smallest man on the ground. Was a little outmatched for size as Marrick got across and punched it out of bounds.
That's the development of Marrick. He's doing a great job, but you'd love to see him just intercept that, knock it to himself and run away with the ball on such an undersized opposition in Dudley.
Smallest player in the AFL. Having it sat on his head, not ideal for Isaiah Dudley. Ball spun back in, right half forward, 50 metres out. Jackson at ground level, got the handball to Sarong. Tumbling kick inside forward 50. Cole out to meet it for West Coast, did well. Took the tackle, gave it across to Hall, his kick. Looking for Owies, is punched away by Warner. And then Hall is taken out of bounds. A little bit of afters. Jackson just made sure he went to ground over the boundary line. Nothing too untoward. Players are broken up by the umpire and it'll be tossed back in 60 metres around from the Dockers attacking goal. They lead by 24 points in Derby 61.
Boundary umpire unfurls. Darcy palmed it down for the Dockers. Brayshaw's out after it, hands it off to Sarong, threw it on the boot. He's missed. We're about 30 metres out, sailing
free
through
kick
for a minor score. We're coming back here, are we?
I think it may have been a delayed free kick there.
Yeah.
Top of the head, I think.
So Sarong is going to get the free kick here.
If Sarong and Brayshaw, and we've seen both of them have shots at goal in this game, if they can just add that reliability when they get their shots at goal to convert a bit more, it further adds to Fremantle's weaponry.
Both of them started at the stoppage as well. Just ability to break away and go from inside to out is incredible.
It was dangerous, wasn't it? There wasn't a lot of layers of defence in front of them. They were goal side and out.
It's going to kick from about 44 metres out. Slightly better than a 45-degree angle to the right. Sarong has missed. To the right-hand side, another minor score. They're 7-7-49, the Dockers. 4 straight 24, the Eagles. 18 gone in the second.
He was persisting with this quick kick-in strategy. This occasion, it's Kelly who is the recipient. Kicks it beyond left half back, was looking for Hall, and Frederick had the closing speed, was able to get across and knock it out of bounds. So will be tossed back in. Right in front of the players' race at that end of Perth Stadium. The away teams normally come out. Darcy and Bailey Williams, the two rucks. Williams got in front. Darcy got a hand over the top. Clay Hall came through. He was dispossessed. Sarong was brilliant. Won the ball. Gave it across to Brayshaw. Handball to Murphy Reid. He can't bring it back. Started right, stayed right. That's another minor score. They're peppering Fremantle. 7-8-50. The Eagles, 4 straight 24. Margin 26 points, 18.5 into the second term. Derby 61 on ABC Sport.
Here's Cole. Decides to go high and long this time to left half back. Big pack up, getting a fist to it. Brennan Cox at the back of the pack. Seeing it over the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in. Left half back for the Eagles.
He's been very assertive, Brennan Cox. He's marked a few. He's chosen the right times to get the big fist in as well. Long, clearing spoils.
Spun back in by the boundary umpire. Darcy with the more telling tap. Down to Bolton, to Brayshaw. Stepped away from a couple. Went to Frederick. He got tackled. Spilled out the side. Putting his head over at McCarthy. Couldn't gather. Young emerges with it. Breaks away. Kicks into the right forward pocket for Fremantle. Unable to mark Amos. Spills down to Dudley. Trying to get a kick forward. Ricocheted out towards Bolton. Kick smothered by Duggan. Keeps going on its way. Boss is there in the goal square. Can't manufacture a kick. Still managed to work it out. Tracy. Hand pass to Switkowski. Back to Murphy Reid. Onto O'Driscoll. Oh, it was going to be incredible, but misses to the left-hand side. But there's a free kick coming back for the Dockers. And O'Driscoll will have it in the left forward pocket, Billy.
Yeah.
How did that ball stay in bounds?
Unbelievable. Hawk, wasn't there? Spin on the ball. And they have been butchering some opportunities. We get a replay. It was like a top, wasn't it? A bottle top.
Yeah, or like when you swing the hula hoop, you spin the hula hoop.
Amazing.
The tackle on Hutchison, and O'Driscoll as he tried to get the kick away by Hutchison was high. That's the reason for the free kick. O'Driscoll from 25 out. Still not to be. They just can't find the major opening. Another miss. Minor score 7-9, 51 to 4 straight, 24-21 gone in the second term of Derby 61.
Jimby received the kick in, went short to Cripps, not 15. Called to play on, kick up the wing. Chapman flew high over the top, couldn't mark, and then follows up and takes it out of bounds. Is that how good Shea Bolton is, that he can spin it off the smother and keep it in bounds? It wasn't quite Penny Hill music, but the ball refused to go through. Ball spun back in. Jackson in front. Was he held from behind? Yes.
Far out. The umpires are hot at the moment.
Yeah, the free kick count now 15-8 Fremantle's way. Luke Jackson, the recipient on this occasion, stands on centre wing, commentary side of Perth Stadium. Just thumps the ball high inside the forward 50. Flyers are up. Tracy couldn't mark at the fall of the ball. Cripps somehow scrambled a kick to Owies beyond defensive 50. Now Hoff comes in. He's pushed off it by Brayshaw. Bolton couldn't win it, nor could Flynn. Players crashing in everywhere. In the end, a ball ump's probably a good result. We'll have a reset.
We've had a few stoppages here, and Fremantle have just waltzed away with no pressure.
No Fremantle ruck. Well, it took a long time. Jackson eventually nominated against Flynn. Ball came down the Eagles' way. Kelly scrambles a kick up towards Bailey Williams. Did very well to win the ball and get away from Cox. Handballs to Baker. Short kick towards half-forward. Diving mark. Taken by Archer Reid. A beautiful mark by the big man. Handball to Kelly. Kick to Shanahan. Nice mark. Strong hands in front from the young man. The kick wasn't great, but did well, Job Shanahan, to hold his own and take the mark. And the set shot will come from about 35, 40 metres out, slightly worse than 45-degree angle to the left.
It really wasn't to his advantage, that kick from Kelly. It was the right idea, keep the ball in motion, get the handball received, but didn't have any options deep at all. And had Shanahan standing still, so just had to pop it on his head.
It'll look at the future. Hutcher Reid involved. Now Job Shanahan is a beautiful kick of the football. And this one is away to the right. I apologise, Eagles fans. He kicks it out on the full. It hits the far right behind post.
Had to do it.
He's a pure kick, and you've just mozzed him.
I thought he was no chance because it's a great kick. And I thought there's a 35 for Fremantle that strikes them pure. There's a 35 for West Coast. I apologise. It's out on the full, and Banfield take the free kick.
We wish you well, Job. So here's Banfield going at a bit of a run. We've all been there, Mitch. Kicks beyond defensive 50. Oh, that is a good mark. Up and dragging down the footy. An absolute ripper coming to Rhett Bazzo. He'll send it back for whence it came. Into the right forward pocket for the Eagles. Going very early before acceptances was Shanahan. The umpire says it's okay. Play on. Brayshaw got it to Young, to Jackson, to Bolton. Sweeping hand pass into the middle of the ground. Switkowski to Dudley. They're bursting away, Freo. One-on-one inside forward 50. Amos was the front on contact paid? No. They won't be happy about that. Eagles turn it over immediately, going beyond defensive 50. Frederick's looking for another one. He kicks on goal. He misses left. A minor score. So they've kicked now 5 behind since their last goal. Fremantle. They're 7-10-52. The Eagles are 4 straight, 24. 24 gone in the second term. Any thoughts on that contact inside forward 50 a moment ago, gents?
Had to be a free kick to Fremantle, unrealistic attempt. He didn't touch the ball, Job Shanahan.
I think it was a fair contest in the Fremantle forward 50, though.
Okay. I thought both of them were a bit dodgy, but certainly...
Oh, that was a free kick.
Certainly
in the Fremantle.
Shanahan.
Sorry, the Fremantle defensive 50 was a clear.
Absolutely.
Shanahan to the front on this occasion, trying to receive the kick out. He couldn't. Frederick was tackled, threw it away. It's a free kick to the Eagles. Hewitt, the tackler.
It's been disappointing for Fremantle, the lack of class in the last 10 minutes or so. Had ample opportunities to impact the scoreboard and just has lacked class.
Hewitt had the free kick. He goes short to Matt Flynn. There's an absolute just mess from the Eagles as the ball eventually comes to McCarthy. Flynn was looking for a runner. There was three coming past.
All got in each other's way.
None of them were really open for the handball. Eventually panicked and McCarthy's kicked it straight to Warner, who's called to play on and just steps around Matthew Owies and finds Brayshaw. He's a basketballer from way back, Owies. He knows that's called breaking your ankles.
Owies is a basketballer.
He was a national basketballer.
Wow.
Represented Australia at junior level. O'Meara with ball in hand, kicks up towards half forward, and Cole takes the intercept for West Coast. He was a national basketballer, played alongside DJ Vasilovic. He's a current 36er, I believe it is.
He is.
I'll hand over to Clint Wilderness. Hewitt has the ball. We'll talk footy.
Just proving, by the way, it's not just Scott Pendlebury who gets linked with that. Here's O'Meara trying to battle away at right half back for the Dockers, and he's been held.
Well,
Get a free kick. It's against Cripps.
Never surprised when they say Jackson was a basketballer, but he's being 5'8".
I'm prepared to take a punt that he might have been a point guard. What do you reckon? So here's Bolton who has it, and he stabs it short. Oh, too much for Chapman to mark. Spills down to Baker. Oh, he's in real trouble. He's tackled that. He's getting legged. That's unfortunate for Brayshaw. The tackle slipped down. It spills out to Cripps. Cripps goes long towards goal. He's got a second, Jamie Cripps, for the Eagles. And you wouldn't believe it, despite the domination in field position and possession, West Coast have now kicked 3 unanswered goals. 5 straight 30, the Eagles. The Dockers 7-10-52. Mentioned before, they've kicked 5 behinds consecutively, the Dockers. 26 minutes gone in the second term. Freo's lead has been cut to 22 points.
And I think Justin Longmuir would be well within his rights, if he chooses, to give them an attitude readjustment.
Absolutely.
It's been poor. Really poor.
Give them a what?
An attitude readjustment. Their attitude is off Fremantle.
Wake up, boys.
They've just decided we've got this game in our hand.
Yep.
We're not prepared to pay the price anymore.
The turnovers have levelled themselves back out, and the stoppages are now only 2-goal differential, but it's 4-7, so 11 scoring shots to the 2 in favour of Fremantle.
An attitude readjustment, also known in common terms as a spray.
Work last night for the Giants.
Certainly did, and here is a former Giant with ball in hand. Free kick to Flynn for the Eagles, middle of the ground. Kicks a looping high ball out to half forward. Warner got in front of Cripps, couldn't take the mark. Cole burst through for the Eagles. Gets a handball to Kelly. Initially fumbled, then gathered, lost it to Chapman. His handball, can't quite find Cox. It goes out of bounds at the right half forward junction. Far side of the ground. Still covered in sun, that area. Plenty of players shielding their eyes as the shadows work their way across in this Saturday afternoon clash in Derby 61. Flynn v Darcy. Flynn taps it inside 50 for the Eagles. Clark coming through over Renner. So poked away from him by Reed. Came to Baker. Little handball on the ground looking for Owies. It ricochets off bodies. Comes to Jackson. Now the Dockers go by hand off half-back. To Switkowski. Takes the bounce. Runs away from Hall. Takes a second bounce. A third. Dodges back inside Kelly. He's looking for an option. He's desperate for one, Switkowski. Eventually kicks inside the forward 50. Knocked off it is Shanahan. Tracy got it out towards Bolton. Dancing in the pocket. Dances around Jinby. They just don't want to kick it, Fremantle. Handballs towards Young. He's tackled, taken to ground. Ball up 55. No, he was taken high late.
Well, Switkowski had no forwards coming at the kicker. They're all running back to goal, and he would have had to kick it 70 metres. One of them had to turn and present at the kicker.
Switkowski, hard to spell, harder to tackle. Left half forward here is Young. Puts it inside forward 50. Only Eagles there. There was 3 of them. They could have raffled it. and it's the smallest of them in Liam Ryan who drags in the mark. He'll switch play towards the left-back pocket and find Harley Reid, who goes beyond defensive 50 to Hutchison, and marks a metre in from the boundary at left half-back. Fremantle have dominated so much of this quarter, and yet West Coast at the moment are winning the term, incredibly. The kick is towards the commentary wing. Back as Cox. There's a free kick spotted. It's a holding decision. Will come here to be taken by the Eagles again. Hoff was just involved in a little bit of afters with O'Driscoll. Sarong in the vicinity as well. The free kick will be taken by Bailey J. Williams. Only half an hour gone. 22 points the lead to the Dockers. They led by 28 at quarter time. Williams for the Eagles. Kicks towards left half forward. Again, there's a mark being paid out of all of that to Chapman, who was about third in the line of 5.
That's a strong mark.
Great mark to Chapman. He bounces up and steps off his line. Now gets told to play on. Sends it back towards the commentary wing. Front position, Tracy. Jimmy at the back got a fist on it. Saw it across the boundary line between the two interchange gates beneath our broadcast position for another throw-in. 7-10-52 the Dockers. 5 straight 30 at West Coast. 31 gone in the second term. By the way, Kelly's had it 14 times for the Eagles. Brayshaw 19 for Fremantle.
Ball spun back in again. Centre wing. Commentary side of the ground. O'Meara through traffic. Gave the fend off. Then was tackled. Reid said no to the advantage.
He put his arms up to say no and then saw Marek running through the middle all on his own and tried to take it.
He was running off, but he was also saying, I don't want it unless umpire said no. That'll take us towards half-time. And a much better quarter for the Eagles in terms of the scoreboard. They kicked 3 goals for the term. The score, the Eagles are 5 straight 30 now. They trail the Dockers 7-10-52. It is a 22-point margin the way of the Dockers in Derby 61.
Goal kickers look like this. Frederick with 3 for the Dockers. Young with 2 singles to Amos and to Dudley. While for West Coast, 2 to Cripps. Singles to Harley Reid, Brockman and Kelly. West Coast we're trailing by 28 points, as I said, at quarter time. They've won their 6th second term of the season, cutting the margin to 22 points at the major break. Earlier today, Gold Coast by 66 points over Brisbane. 20-10-130 to Brisbane, 9-10-64. Long booting 4 for the Suns, and Matt Rao won the medal for the best on ground. Coming up later tonight, if you're throughout Victoria and Tasmania, we'll be taking you North Melbourne versus Geelong. And if you're within WA, SA and the Northern Territory, Adelaide versus Port will be our next stop for Showdown 58. There was a late change. We just wanted to bring you up to date with, if you weren't with us at the very start of the coverage. It was a very late change. Harry Edwards out for West Coast with a hamstring injury. It meant Sandy Brock came in as the emergency. That was right on the very start of the contest. At the moment, neither team has made their substitution. Neil Erasmus, the sub for Fremantle. West Coast, the sub. West Coast sub is Tyrell Dewar. If you'd like to send us a question, let us know your thoughts. Derby 61 so far. If you're around the ground here at Perth Stadium, what have you made of it? If you're a Docker, 0437 774 774. 0437 774 774. We'll read out a few of your messages in just a moment here on Saturday Footy on ABC Sport. But before all of that, let's hear from our experts. Peter Bell played in 15 of these games. Sharrod Wellingham in 5. What did you make of it, gents?
A little bit sloppy from Fremantle, first of all, Shaz. I mean, they still had lots of opportunities and looked so dangerous out of stoppage, but their finishing really cost them. I think 1 goal 5 they've kicked from boundary throw-in.
Yep.
And 4 goal 7 from stoppage overall. But I just didn't like a few things that were creeping into their game.
That long kick that you mentioned from Clark is just unnecessary, and it doesn't return the results that JL would be wanting and the rest of the coaching committee.
And there was a bit of that. I just felt like some players were thinking, it's our turn to stuff the stat sheet a little bit and really get fill up and touch the ball and play in a pretty style, an open style, when what was dominant through that late part of the first quarter was that they were just playing their role. They were very disciplined, and the scores were opening up. There was ample opportunity to score. I just thought it got a little bit ragged, maybe even a little bit selfish in that second quarter. And
a little bit
West
Larry.
Coast, a little bit Larry, and West Coast, to their credit, took full toll.
The thing that Fremantle will be happy with Contested possession, 72 to 52. So 20 up at half-time is a really big disparity there. Inside 50s, 32 to 19. They'll be really happy with that. And then the clearance work, 25 to 14. So there are all these kind of KPIs that they'll go, yes, we're stuffing around with the ball a bit, being a little bit, don't know if it's the right word, but uncaring with the football. We're not making the right decisions. We're not being as selfless as we should be. But yes, we're getting ourselves in the right position. We're doing all the hard work initially, but let's just be a little bit more careful and a little bit more selfless with the footy.
Yeah, that second quarter is 1 goal, 6 to 3 goals straight. So Fremantle had plenty of opportunity, and maybe I'm being a little critical. They had finished a little bit better.
You can't be, though, because that's what the expectation should be of each other when they're at the level that they're at.
I do have high expectations, and we're playing Fremantle playing the bottom team today and having ample opportunity to score and really put pressure on their opponent and take any sort of hope or spirit out of the opposition, and who knows what could then be possible. And I just didn't like some of the signals that Fremantle were exhibiting in that second quarter. And
that, I think, is the real difference between a side that has the ability to be ruthless and give nothing every single game, even when they are coming up against a bottom side, that can really propel them when it does get tough going up against a side like with the performance we saw from them last week against Collingwood. So the ability to do that, and we saw the group get together before exiting the ground, get together and have a few words with each other, and I think Josh Tracy was one of the ones who was pretty vocal in that from up here. Obviously, we were obviously facing only one way. We might have seen other players talking, but they
looked like Josh Tracy
leading that,
which I love.
Love it. And they've got to be hard on each other. Have that little word before they go in, and then they'll probably be told the exact same thing that they spoke about on the ground. But having that leadership and presence on each other before going down into the rooms is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think West Coast did a good job with Hayden Young. He was dominating in that first quarter, and they managed to put the clamps on him. And look, Brayshaw has accumulated the footy, but I don't think has used it as well as he would like to. But 19 disposals and a half, and 250 metres gained as well.
They're totally different players, aren't they? And you mentioned the ball in hand player that Young is so damaging. I mean, Brayshaw, yes, he's an accumulator, but as you can see, he's had the 12 handballs to go with the 4 clearances. That's the type of player he is. He's in and under. He's going to do the grunt work, but you want the ball in someone like Young's hands, don't you?
Yeah, he did spend a long time. He got caught on the interchange, Hayden Young, for a long part of that second quarter as well. Okay. So, which in the biggest scheme of things with what he's coming back from,
they could be protected.
Yeah, they could be. They could be. Yeah, that's a fair point on limited game time.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how he's used in the second half as well. But I think that there will be, it's not JL's style to be really assertive in his messaging to players, but I think he'll be questioning about, is the team valuing the right things in that second quarter?
Again, lip reading, but watching the footage of JL in the box about 10 seconds before the break, you could see him go, but we've got the inside 50s. I kind of just saw that go across the lips. So that's kind of the message that I think that he'll be trying to give to his players is, we're doing the work, we're getting it inside 50, but boys, we've got to be more careful when we've got the ball, and let's make the right decisions when we put ourselves.
Those long, shallow entries are just not paying off, and then make it hard to defend behind when you're turning the ball over around the arc. And that's what happened on a few occasions when I thought the ball was energised unnecessarily. All good and well to play that handball and neutralise the person on the stand, but you then don't want to be drawing the pressure so that player's the one who's kicking it from, around where the centre circle is. Yeah.
You love seeing Clark get those ones on the defensive 50 and breaking the game up and running and finding somebody in the position where he's actually getting those handball receives at the moment, isn't it? That's where he is his most damaging, not when he comes for someone who's got a free kick or taken a mark and then dumps it. I completely agree. I don't like that kind of footy.
Thoughts of Sharad Willingham and Peter Bell, both of them premiership players, your experts today here for Derby 61 in the West. It's been, could have been a complete blowout, but inaccuracy from Fremantle is keeping West Coast in it at half-time. It's a 22-point margin. The Dockers are 7-10-52 to the Eagles, 5 straight 30. Back with plenty more in just a moment from here at Perth Stadium, including some of your text messages, 0437 774 774. But right now on Saturday Footy on ABC Sport, let's pause and take the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News, good afternoon, I'm William Howard. Australia and Britain have signed a new 50-year treaty to cement the AUKUS submarine partnership and bolster shipbuilding in both countries. Defence Minister Richard Marles and his UK counterpart John Healey today signed the treaty, saying it will lead to thousands of jobs in the two countries. As the US continues to review the AUKUS agreement, Minister Marles has expressed confidence in it.
It is putting into treaty form what had already been agreed between our two countries. The way to look at this is another step forward down the AUKUS path. It's another demonstration of the fact that AUKUS is happening.
The Thai military says a new front has opened up as the border conflict with neighbouring Cambodia enters its third day. The BBC's Jonathan Head has more.
The Thai Navy has reported that it pushed back Cambodian troops on the southernmost stretch of the border, which runs close to the sea. This brings the fighting between the countries to a new area, as early diplomatic efforts to end the conflict make little headway. At an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council, Cambodia requested a ceasefire, but Thailand has not agreed to this. An attempt by Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to end hostilities was also politely rejected by Thailand, which is still angry about the deaths of 13 civilians from Cambodian rocket attacks on Thursday.
The World Food Programme says nearly 100,000 Palestinian women and children are in need of urgent medical treatment amid surging malnutrition in Gaza. Larry Buttrose reports.
The programme says almost a third of the people in Gaza are now going for days without food amid intensifying warnings about starvation and malnutrition. Israel has been restricting movement of supplies into the territory, claiming Hamas militants have hijacked aid. But an Australian doctor who's been working in Gaza disputes the Israeli claims. Israel has now announced it'll allow foreign countries to airdrop aid into Gaza in coming days, and Britain has announced it'll take part in airdrops and help evacuate children in need of urgent medical attention.
The highest court in France has annulled an arrest warrant for the former Syrian president Bashar al-Assad. It was issued as part of an investigation into chemical attacks during Syria's civil war. The court has ruled the warrant was invalid as presidential immunity covered even alleged war crimes. The court's president, Christophe Sola, says fresh warrants could still be issued.
L'Assemblée plénière annule.
The plenary assembly cancels the arrest warrant. However, it points out that since Mr. Bashar al-Assad is no longer in office, new arrest warrants have or could be delivered against him for actions which may constitute war crimes or crimes against humanity.
China is proposing a global body to deal with the rise of artificial intelligence. In his opening speech at the World AI Conference in Shanghai, Chinese Premier Li Qiang says governance regarding AI is fragmented and it's important to step up coordination to form a global framework to deal with it. He's calling on the international community to coordinate development and security on AI and advocating the establishment of a World Artificial Intelligence Cooperation. South Australia's Dairy Farmers Association president says a convoy of hay trucks bound for the state's drought-stricken regions is a mental relief for farmers. 85 trucks loaded with more than 6,000 bales of hay and straw is expected to reach the state's far west this afternoon. It's a project between charities, farmers across borders and Need for Feed, with support from the South Australian government. President Rob Brokenshire says while the fodder is an economic relief, it's also helping farmers in more ways than one.
Importantly, it's actually the mental relief to think that these people are prepared to go to these lengths to help us in our time of need.
To sport, wild weather has disrupted play in the Wallaroos' 21-12 point loss to Wales in one of the side's final hitouts ahead of the Women's Rugby World Cup in England next month. The home side took a 7-point lead early on before lightning strikes around Ballymore Stadium in Brisbane saw play suspended for half an hour. Wales coped better after the unscheduled break, running in 3 tries to the Wallaroos' 1 to claim the win. And Australian tennis player Alex de Minaur has advanced to the semi-finals at the Washington Open. The 7th seed beat American Brandon Nakashima in the quarterfinals in straight sets 6-4, 6-4. And you're up to date with the latest ABC News.
Do you have a favourite ABC show? Perhaps a favourite ABC personality? Show them some love by voting for them in the 2025 Logie Awards at tvweeklogies.com.au.
Get your footy fix live and ad-free with the ABC Listen app. Whatever footy you're after, we've got you covered. Called by ABC Sports expert commentary team. ABC Sports coverage of the footy on the ABC Listen app. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Switkowski, one-on-one v McCarthy, steps around, breaks the tackle, then kicks a wobbler towards half forward. It's an awkward ball for Marrick, couldn't take it on the half volley. Frederick gathers, takes a bounce, takes a second, banana for his third. And salutes with the finger, does Freddie. Darcy tapped it down, the Eagles though win it. Hutchinson to Reid, here goes Harley, takes a bounce, runs to 45, sets his sights on the goals and nails it. Harley says get up, he's hyped. Darcy tapped it straight down to Ryan, tried to squeeze the handball to Clark.
Their free kick, it'll go to Kelly for the hold against Jordan Clark.
Tim Kelly will go around the corner from 35, he bends it beautifully. The Eagles have responded.
Bolton who has it, and he stabs it short. Oh, too much for Chapman to mark. Spills down to Baker. Oh, he's in real trouble. He's tackled that. He's getting legged. That's unfortunate for Brayshaw. The tackle slipped down. It spills out to Cripps. Cripps goes long towards goal. He's got a second, Jamie Cripps, for the Eagles.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Clint Wilden with you at Perth Stadium. West Coast, they lead, or they trail rather, by 22 points after trailing by 28 at quarter time. I mentioned West Coast because this was all supposed to be about Fremantle, and they have been terribly disappointing at times in that second term. 7-10-52. They kicked 5 consecutive behinds, and for the quarter, 1-6. The Dockers, their supporters, they've come out in big numbers today. They would have been expecting more from a side who not just needs the points, and I know that's the first thing. I also know that their coach doesn't like to talk about it, but this was an opportunity to put some percentage. It is a concerning level for the Dockers, their percentage of 108.9, up against a side who has conceded 100 plus 10 times this year and has lost by 8 goals or more 7 times. And the Dockers so far have failed to really put the foot down in this game. A bit of news from last night. Toby Green has been reported for striking Isaac Heaney in the first quarter of last night's Sydney derby. 1 match ban he's been offered. Intentional low and high for that elbow across the face when Heaney was laying on the ground. So Toby Green from the Giants offered a 1 match ban. The earlier game today, the Q clash with the Gold Coast winning by 66 points over Brisbane. A terrific performance by Ben Ainsworth, who had 27 disposals and 3 goals for the Suns in their win. And up for the game, he caught up with Zane Bojack.
Yeah, I've got a very happy Ben Ainsworth with me. Just the 3 goals today and 27 disposals. But Ben, more importantly, after what happened in Adelaide last week, was this a statement win from the Gold Coast Suns against an opponent that you really have struggled against in the past?
Yeah, I think so. Last week was not us. We addressed that early in the week, and then it was good to come out this week and perform like we did. And they're obviously a quality opposition, so it was good to perform on that day.
I know he's only one player, but having Sammy Collins at the back, it just looked like it freed up Mac to go and do what he does. What's it like for you guys up forward to have a bloke like that at the back and so short?
Yeah, he's bloody terrific, old Sammy. You know, every time he's going near the footy, we're going to at least halve it. So he was fantastic today and good to have him back.
Benny, well played, mate. It's Jeff White here. The inside forward 50s, the ability for you guys to keep it inside there was outstanding today. Was it? You mentioned something about that because you were plus in your inside forward 50s last week, but it just felt like it was coming out straight away. Farah, yourself, Benny Long, you were superb in that forward line today.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, it was definitely a focus early on in the week. Just holding inside our 50 and we can build pressure off that. And I think we did that very well in the second quarter and we got a couple of goals off the back of it. So that was a good performance from all the forwards.
Hey Ben, Jamie Sen here. Just wanted you to talk about potentially the inclusions that brought in this week. We obviously asked you about Sam Collins already, but the likes of Alex Davies and Jai Farah into potentially some pretty important positions across the ground and what they brought today.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a couple of soldiers out over the last couple of weeks, and then a couple of soldiers come in. So Alex Davies, I thought, was terrific, and Faz up forward, he was terrific as well. So everyone's just playing their role, doing their bit, and it's going a long way to us winning games of footy.
Ben, it's Ben Cameron here. We've set up here that it feels like a coming-of-age win for the Gold Coast Suns. Does it feel like that to you?
Yeah, I guess so. I think even off the back of the Collingwood win here a couple of weeks ago, it was obviously a poor performance last week against Adelaide, but I think we've been building across the year, and it was good to put in a solid performance today, and we'll drive over the next couple of weeks.
Dimmer spoke about the kick in the unmentionables last week. How did he handle the week?
No, he was actually very good. On Monday or Tuesday, whenever we did the review, we just sort of addressed it and said that it wasn't us as a footy club, and we got to work on the training track, obviously address the things that we were pretty poor at, which there was a fair few things over the weekend, but it was a fantastic performance from the lads today. Good bounce back.
Congratulations on your game, mate. 12 score involvements and 3 goals. It wasn't just based off the defensive pressure. Your use of the ball was elite. 91% kicking efficiency in these conditions, mate. Absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, thank you. I think I pride myself on that. Obviously, get most of my touches centre forward, so I've probably been a little bit poor in that aspect over the course of the year, but it was good to turn the corner today and get involved offensively.
Ben Ainsworth after the Suns win over Brisbane by 66 points. Mitch Turner's got some of the other numbers here at Perth Stadium for us.
Just quickly, Andrew Brayshaw, 19 disposals for the Dockers, leads all comers on the ground. Hayden Young with 14, Luke Jackson 13, Caleb Sarong 11. For the Eagles, it's Tim Kelly with 14 touches and a goal, Ryan Marrick with 12, Tom Cole with 11, and Tom McCarthy with 10. Fremantle, though, leading by 22 points.
On the text line, boys, will Jordan Clark make the AA squad of 44? I think he's borderline in the 22. That's from Larry of Queanbeyan. I've got him in my All-Australian side at the moment. Let's see what pans out. Second half underway.
Flynn against Jackson. Flynn tapped it down. Dispossessed immediately was Sarong. It comes, though, to Bolton for the Dockers. Gave it to Jackson. Had a little bit of time to spin around and then send it inside the forward 50, only, though, into the hands of Ruben Jinby, who takes the mark and played on immediately. Handball to Duggan, whose kick out towards the left back pocket is just good enough for Clay Hall. He takes the mark in that slither of sunshine that is still left on the playing surface. Hall played on, panicked for a moment, but goes by foot to Duggan, the top of his defensive goal square. Back to Jinby in the right back pocket. Inside 50 count, 32-19 the Dockers' way. The Eagles rebound on this occasion. Jinby kick up the wing looking for Flynn. Jackson punched it away. Sarong sandwiched between two Eagles. Did well to tap it to Murphy Reid. Gives it to Bolton. Back to Murphy Reid on a platter inside 50 to Jai Amos, who turned around to have a look at the options. And before it even turned, Josh Tracy was pointing at the big sticks. Wanted nothing to do with it. Said take the shot as Liam Duggan just limps towards the bench. He was crunched. A bit of friendly fire in that last contest.
It was a big contest. Luke Jackson got the punch back towards Fremantle goals, and Fremantle want the ball in Murphy Reid's hands most of the time, but particularly kicking inside 50.
Could be a massive corky for Duggan as he limps towards the interchange gates. Jai Amos has 1 goal to his name already. Kicks from just inside 50. Thumps the ball, but it's away to the left. A minor score to open the second half here in Derby 61. Fremantle now 7-11-53. The Eagles 5 straight 30. Less than 2 minutes played in the third term.
6 consecutive behinds for the Dockers as McCarthy almost turns it over, kicking beyond defensive 50. It's off hand. Spills down here for Hoff. Is it centre half back? Steps inside. Switkowski. And that's a dangerous kick from the Eagle. Warner almost took the mark, but he's been given a free kick anyway. Having the arms chopped. Take your pick. He's just standing in front of the logo, country side of the ground.
Pressure from Sam Switkowski.
Warner stabs it short to Bolton. Murphy Reid provided a lead short. Instead he'll go wider. Taken by O'Meara. 50 out from goal. Sends it long towards the teeth of goal. And punched through by Tom Cole for a rush behind. So that makes it 7-12-54. 5 straight 30 the Eagles, 2:30 gone in the third. A Cash Fodadar's downstairs.
It's high up on that right thigh that Liam Duggan is having worked on, so yeah, looks like a corky from that contest.
Cash Fodadar will keep us updated on the Eagles' captain, as McCarthy goes back inside 50 to Brock, who kicks towards the southern side. O'Driscoll bravely chops it off, intended for Bailey Williams. The Dockers wingman got in front, takes the mark and then bites off a dangerous kick to centre half forward to Shea Bolton, who can mark, play on and miss. Another behind for the Dockers. That is 8 in a row. 7-13-55 Fremantle. West Coast 5 straight 30. 25-point margin. It is going up by ones.
It's also the third time that Fremantle have had 3 players around the arc.
They'll do it in singles.
McCarthy on defensive 50.
Well, wasteful from Fremantle, and it'll be at the end of the year that we'll work out how wasteful exactly.
And Hutchison got a free kick from a little nudge. I mentioned before, in the past 10 years, this was on Sports Talk during this morning, 4 times in the past 10 years, percentage has decided whether or not a team has made the finals. And on all bar one occasion, percentage has had a major role in whether you end up getting a double chance in the top 4, play an elimination final, or even worse, play an elimination final away from home. It certainly matters, no matter what the coaches say. Kick towards the outer side. Strong tackle here by Brennan Cox. He's wrapped up Cole and takes him to ground, just shy of the logo. Centre wing, southern side of Perth Stadium. Jackson palmed it down to O'Meara. Got a hand pass into space, out after it. Brayshaw spun away from the attempted Harley Reid tackle and then stepped inside Baker as well. His kick is to Switkowski. Plays on by a hand, running by Brayshaw. Receives the footy, kicks towards right full forward. Good spoil, Bazzo. Getting in front of Amos, punches it over the line at right full forward for the Dockers, who still are in front by 25 points. 5 gone in the third. Beansy wants to know, is there a Toby tax added to his report? Not sure. Certainly thought it was always going to be at least a fine. Thrown in again. Bounces around. Here's Flynn, kicks straight into traffic, bounce back again to Hoff. His kick only as far as O'Meara, and you won't believe it, it's got worse for the Dockers. That's actually from the right forward pocket and 40 out. He's missed everything to the right-hand side. It's like there's a force field in front of the Dockers goal at the moment. 7-13-55 to 5 straight 30 the Eagles. 5 gone in the third.
The Eagles will bring it outside, right half back to Brady Hoff. Marks on the defensive 50 junction. Goes down the commentary side of Perth Stadium to Jinby. He's looking inboard. He wants to switch it. He takes off. Takes a bounce, then sends a high ball back inside defensive 50 to the left back pocket. Kohler was there waiting. Took the mark. Kicks it up towards Clayhall. Steps inside of Clark. Chips the ball further along the southern side to Brockman. Kept running Clayhall and receives the handball over the top. Now takes one bounce. A second, running away from Clark. Kicks inside the forward 50. No mark taken. Right at the fall of the ball. That would have hurt the Dockers. But he misses. Just doing it in ones. Not quite the Tim David style from this morning in the cricket, who was doing it all in sixes. This is singles and the occasional dot. 5-1-31 the Eagles. Fremantle 7-13-55.
Well, the kick in was short. Bolton did well to scoop it up. Gave it back to Luke Ryan, and then he found Clark in the right back pocket. 11 sixes David hit today. His score of 102. Oh, no, that's very poor. Clark goes back towards full forward. Chapman can't gather it immediately. Ryan tries to impose some pressure. Chapman tackled. Wrapped up by Baker. That's holding the ball. Wow, what is happening to Fremantle? They are falling apart. And I say that knowing full well that their lead is 24 points, but this is not a side that should be pushing for finals at the moment against the team that's won just one game for the year. Liam Baker from 25 metres out, and he puts it through for West Coast. Liam Baker with his third of the season, and the Eagles have now kicked, this is quite true, 4 unanswered goals. They're 6-1-37 to the Dockers, who are 7-13-55, the 8-minute mark of the third term. The Dockers haven't kicked a goal since they kicked their 6th straight at the 5th minute mark of what was the second term.
can't come up with another word other than embarrassing at the moment for Fremantle. Just basic skill execution.
It's not like even like West Coast's pressure has gone up a huge amount.
No.
It's odd. It's a little bit lazy. Not what you want to be saying.
A cash voted up on the boundary.
Liam Duggan's up and about. He's done some run-throughs. Still looking a little bit proppy, but he's now in the exercise bike, just trying to get some blood flowing through that corky.
Ball bounce in the middle, little wonky. The umpire will recall it.
Good collect by the umpire. Good fast feet.
Most skillful person out there at the moment as the ball goes up in the air. Jackson over the top of Flynn. Flynn won the tap, though. It's coming the Eagles' way. Hewitt to Reid. Fends off Shea Bolton. Steps around one. Caught in a tackle. Then breaks it. Kicks towards the goal square. Bouncing through. Last line of defence was Luke Ryan. He took it like a goalkeeper, and then his kick out towards right half back was a little average, and O'Meara is forced to step it over the boundary line.
I thought that was about to bounce through.
I thought it was going to bounce on its end, Liam Ryan style last week for Harley Reid, but not to be. It'll be tossed back in at left half forward for the Eagles. The ball is spun back in. Jackson over the top, taps it into space. First one there is Bolton, who gave it to Young, tried to tap it to Sarong. Couldn't find the target, knocked out of bounds.
So you couldn't judge the bounce? Not a reasonable player then, you, Mitch Turner.
I need to take reasonable care.
Oh, I so wanted a Sunday footy for him this week. So wanted there to be one. A bit to say about that umpiring or tribunal decision during the week. Anyway, thrown in again at left half forward. Tap was won down here by Flynn. Spilled out the way. Shea Bolton to O'Meara for the Dockers. Kick goes in the direction of Darcy. Couldn't mark Basso. Spoiled it to ground. Reid got pushed off the football. Umpire says no. Play on in his battle with O'Meara. Still there to be won. Basso picks it up. It's held to him. Ball up the cool.
Stephen, that just dropped chest mark.
It's been uninspiring, Derby 61 so far. Here's Darcy claiming it himself, and he gets a kick away down the southern wing. Again, offhand. Spills to McCarthy for the Eagles. Hand pass to Marrick. Into the middle of the ground he goes, and he's kicking out towards the commentary wing. Tapped down by Cripps in the direction of Owies. Had it stolen away by the Dockers. Here's Chapman. Kicks towards Murphy Reid. Runs inside forward 50. Measures the kick. Caresses it to Amos, and he marks in the left forward pocket.
And to say that Fremantle need this and Jai Amos has to deliver is an understatement. He's had 2 shots today that he really should have kicked. One out of bounds on the full, or maybe the first one was a tighter angle, but he needed to score out of bounds on the full, and he's missed his last shot. He needs to deliver here for Fremantle.
They would know that there's pressure on this kick, the Dockers fans. The Farmer Freeway in Amos, we're right behind it. He's got it. After a run of 8 minor scores, Jai Amos kicks the goal, and it's on in the left forward pocket. Murphy Reid goes in. He pushes over Cole. McCarthy drags Frederick off the battle. Jinby involved with Amos as well. Voss looks for some contact, goes straight to Jinby. Now Marrick goes into Voss, who's got a bit to say. He loves the contacts. He's up against Hall. And that's all gone on after Jai Amos has kicked his second goal. 8-13-61 to 6-1-37. The Dockers over the Eagles. 12 gone in the third. Gee whiz, they needed that, Freo.
Not entirely sure what set that off either. It was just a little tiny
little
bump.
nudge from Tom Cole. Yep.
Maybe just trying to get a free kick.
There was a few flags being flown, but not quite sure, as you say, Sharon, exactly what for.
I'm sure Patrick Voss raised his hands once. It was pure chest. That's all he did. He led with the chest. It was a big one. Out of the middle go the Dockers. Maybe they've been sparked. Sarong to Darcy to Bolton. Short kick to Switkowski. Takes the mark. Bounces to his feet. Kicks it towards Voss, who marks. Oh. He'll go back directly in front, 40 metres out. And you dare say if he kicks it,
he's giving away a free kick.
He's not just going to turn around and walk back to his position.
Much better entries by Fremantle. Just take a bit of time, let the forwards get to work. Where in the second quarter, they were bombing it in.
Actually allowing the forwards to come at the kicker.
Right. Clever kick from Switkowski.
6 goals at the G last week for Patrick Voss. Has not kicked one yet today, but he has had an impact. In he comes. Patrick Voss. Set. Shots. There it is, the celebration. He took a little wind-up first, and now he's into the Eagles. He's picked out Clay Hall. He's talking a bit of trash. In comes Harley Reid just to separate it. He doesn't want to go on with the fight. But Patrick Voss is looking for every Eagle, and now it's spilled out the back a little bit as well. Frederick involved, so too Brockman, Switkowski. Back-to-back goals for the Dockers. Voss puts his name on the scoreboard. 9-13-67 Fremantle, 6-1-37 the Eagles. Margin back out to 30 points.
It's a great stoppage win from Andy Brayshaw. I love the use of hands by Fremantle, but more importantly, I love the composure from Sam Switkowski. Rather than bomb it in, let's take our time, let's let our forwards get to work. And he found Voss on the lead.
No prancing from Paddy. He was certainly putting himself about, though.
Quite restrained, really, wasn't he?
Bounce in the middle. Only Jay got his hands to it, but going through Brayshaw. Bounces off Harley Reid, but got the hand pass to Young. Hand pass to Banfield. Tackled by Owies. Somehow manufactured a kick away. Not as far as Owies, though. Got it onto Hall. Sweeping hand pass to Reid. From right half forward, his kick. Now, surely that's not far enough to be a mark, but it's been paid into the hands of Clark, who immediately steps forward and drills almost a down-under kick to Young, who moves it on immediately to Darcy. Darcy for the Dockers. Commentary edge of the centre square. Out towards left half forward to Murphy. Reid plays on immediately to Banfield. Banfield will centre the football. Inside forward 50. Good mark, McCarthy. Read it well. Was able to take the mark, and then Dudley didn't let him go. It's a free kick and 50. He'll be bringing McCarthy right up into the middle of the ground. He'll have his kick from inside the centre circles. He elects to play on by hand. Comes to Hoff. Inside forward 50. Chapman with the spoil. Won it down in his defensive 50 for the Dockers. Out though towards Ryan. Tackled by Chapman. Got him high. Fremantle fans won't like that. I'd like to have another look at the replay. But Liam Ryan, nonetheless, will go back and be able to have a shot on goal from pretty much straight in front, and I'm convinced that wasn't high.
Well, he's drawn it in. He's dropped his knees, dropped his body down below, and drawn the high contact. The high contact is there, but I'm not sure that those ones should be paid.
Yeah. The way that he's dropped down to get the free kick.
Yeah, after coming up from the contest, getting the ground ball, coming up to full height and then going back down.
Eagles fans won't mind, though. Here is Liam Ryan. Kicks on its way. He's missed. Perhaps a little bit of football justice as far as those in purple are concerned. 6-2-38 the Eagles. 9-13-67 the Dockers. 16 gone in the third.
Ryan plays on for Fremantle. Goes straight down the middle. It's a 2-on-1 against them. Almost off hands. Fell to Brayshaw. It didn't. The Eagles have won it back. Marek to Hoff. Inside 50. Hewitt all alone. 35 metres out.
Almost the exact same spot.
It was very much a late in the game trying to win it kick from Luke Ryan straight down the middle.
Yeah, set play. Luke Ryan used to set that one up with Nat Fyfe when he was at his absolute best. But in the end, West Coast outnumbered Hayden Young to the area where the kick came in, and the result is, if you get it wrong, a goal against.
Elijah Hewitt is a classy player for West Coast. Back into the side.
Should have been a goal against. It's contagious, obviously.
I was about to say he's caught something from the Dockers being too close to them out there. It's a minus score. 6-3-39 West Coast, 9-13-67 the Dockers. 28-point lead to the home side today, Fremantle.
Well, it's a 50-metre penalty.
It is. Not sure what for, but Jordan Clark's being marched up the ground.
Not sure anyone's entirely aware, apart from whoever the umpire's told.
Been some interesting decisions today.
Here's Clark flaring out towards Luke Ryan, and he marks on the commentary wing. Uncontested grab. Kicks towards left half forward, and somehow Murphy Reid has got free. He takes a mark about 65 from goal. He'll wheel inboard. Stabs the kick inside forward 50. Bounces the other way of Baker for the Eagles. Hand pass to Hewitt. Hand passes over the shoulder to Duggan, then to Harley Reid. Goes back to Baker. Baker will kick beyond defensive 50. Owies. And then coming across to spoil Owies was Banfield, but he's got him in the arm. It's going to be a free kick for a chopping of the arms against Banfield, and Owies will take it for the Eagles. He'll flare it inboard, and he finds Baker. Plays on immediately. Not a great kick. Bounces towards Clark, who gathers for the Dockers at left half back. Goes back to McDonald. Goes right back to fullback to Luke Ryan. And he marks with the city end of Perth Stadium behind him. The Dockers are 9-13. The Eagles 6-3. 18 gone in the third. 28-point margin in favour of those in the purple.
Thoughts on that, Peter Bell? The decision to go all the way back?
Didn't like it. Just gave up 65 metres.
Now they have to go forward again, the Dockers. The kick from McDonald. Jackson flew on the wing. Couldn't take it. Oh, Driscoll is just pummeled by Baker. The Eagles have won it back. Williams. This is Bailey Williams kicking inside the forward 50. Warner was the only one there for the Dockers. He couldn't mark. Came down, got it at ground level, got it to Ryan, then back, then shared it with Clark and got it back. Warner's kick eventually up the wing, looking for a flying Bolton or Jackson. Neither could mark. Bazo did well. Tapped it to Williams, to Baker, to Kelly. Here you go, West Coast. Jamie Cripps, good finisher normally, not this time. It's away to the left. Minor score, 6-4-40, 9-13, 67. 27-point margin, 19 minutes in. The bump's not dead. That was a beautiful bump by Liam Baker and Nathan O'Driscoll.
Cash Fodadar is downstairs.
Tyrell Dewar is about to come onto the ground for West Coast, so they're making their sub. He's got the warm-up top off, and he's standing up ready to come onto the field. We're just waiting to see who's going to the back of the bench.
Kick went beyond defensive 50 for the Dockers to left half back. Off hands. Murphy Reid gathered. That's a clever kick to Bolton in the centre square. Hands it off to Brayshaw. Sweeping hand pass. Switkowski. Beautiful hand pass over the top to Bolton. Arches the back. Kicks into the right forward pocket. He wanted Amos. And the mark's been paid despite the efforts of Jimby. And he kicked a most important goal for Fremantle not that long ago from the opposite pocket and a little bit further out. He'll put boots a ball from 40 from goal, still deep in the right forward pocket.
I think at the end of the second quarter I asked Fremantle, where is the class? Murphy Reid has delivered it. Had one poor inside 50 where he bit off more than he could chew, but that was a courageous kick to the corridor and it opened up the play for Fremantle.
Jai Amos, 2 goals from 7 disposals, 5 marks today. He's looking for the Dockers' 10th. Kicks on its way. He's missed. Another minor score. 9-14-68 to 6-4-40. Dockers over the Eagles. 21 gone in the third. A cash voted are downstairs.
It's Matt Owies who's been subbed out for West Coast.
So the change made, a tactical one potentially for West Coast. They have the ball inside defensive 50 in the hands. Jack Hutchinson. He's caught to play on. Kicks up the southern side, looking for a mark. Bailey Williams in front, punched away from him. Tim Kelly at ground level, tackled by Bolton. Coming through Brockman for West Coast. Was clean. His handball though. Set a task for Marek, who's knocked off it by Murphy Reid. In comes Switkowski. All the Dockers smalls are there. Switkowski loops it forward to Tracy. Now to the runner Sarong. On the left foot, inside 50. Boss can't take the mark. Has to contend now at ground level with Brock. Does so. Breaks the tackle. Snaps on goal. It's a minor score. It's a terrific solo effort from Patrick Voss, but he couldn't finish it off. 9-15-69 Fremantle, 6-4-40 the Eagles, 29-point margin.
Eagles with a quick kick in. Say that 30 times quickly. Went to Cole in the left back pocket, sends it to the southern wing. Off the hands of Bailey J. Williams, spilled down to Brockman. Broke the tackle of McDonald, back to Bailey J. by hand to Cole. Hand pass to Marek, had to get rid of it quickly, but he found Reid. And again, that's not enough to be a mark. And this time the umpires say play on. Reid tackled, ball jarred out to Murphy Reid, to Switkowski. Came towards Voss, to Brayshaw. Broke the attempted tackle of Hoff. Hands it off to Young. Young, terrific goal. His third. That was the Young and the Express. The moment he got it, Hayden Young was always likely to launch And he does so to get Fremantle's 10th. 10-15, 75 the Dockers, 6-4-40 the Eagles. 22 gone in the third term. This is Saturday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilton alongside Mitch Turner in commentary. Your experts Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
Well done to Freo and a lovely finish from Hayden Young. But I guess this is the frustration for footy fans. The kick from Marek went further than the kick that was paid to Jordan Clark in the first quarter. Categorically.
Yep.
So it's just the inconsistency that frustrates fans.
And that's why Reid would have every right, Harley Reid would go, hang on, why isn't that a mark? When that was.
Back in the middle, ball tapped down. Sarong couldn't gather for Fremantle. Then Baker crashes in. He's taken high by Brayshaw. Wins the free kick. Handball off to the run of McCarthy. Helmet on. Took a bounce and had to look up and kick it quickly. The kick was a bouncing one inside 50. Flynn tapped it towards Kelly. Tries to toe poke it towards goal. Chapman is there for the Dockers under pressure. He finds Cox by hand, who coughs it up to Jamie Cripps. The right foot banana off a standing start is out on the full. It hits the behind post on the left-hand side.
It's an amazing cough up on the goal line there. Just take it over for a point. Just take it over for a point. Don't keep it in play. Don't give the other team an opportunity to kick a goal.
Was it not Heath Chapman who got done a couple of weeks ago for rushing it behind? And maybe he was a bit gun-shy there.
Yeah, but you can still know the rules.
He got it wrong last time, so he's probably scared.
I reckon both teams will be burning the midnight oil this week about how have we butchered so many of these chances and done some really crazy things. Ball's on the outer wing. Cole gets it for the Eagles. Hand pass to Hoff. Hand pass meant for Hall. Couldn't take it. Murphy Reid had it. Hand pass stolen away by Baker. Tackled by O'Meara. Hand pass goes to Murphy Reid again for the Dockers. Duggins remained down after that contest a moment ago. It came to Tracy. Kicks into the right forward pocket. Jackson couldn't mark. Follows it up. Gathers. Got a hand pass backwards. Here's Dudley. Goes short. Not far enough to be a mark. Bolton won't mind. He's kicked towards goal. And goalkeeping wise, Hutchison. If it was the World game, he would have flicked it over the crossbar. In this case, it went through his hands for a minor score. 10-16, 76 the Dockers. 6-4-40 the Eagles. 25 gone in the third. Saturday Arvo footy on ABC Sport, on ABC Radio, Sport Digital and streaming on the ABC Listen app.
It's been wasteful today, Shea Bolton. He's had some lovely looks at goal.
The Eagles bring it out. Defensive 50 through Cole. That's another strong
Talking about
mark.
lovely, how nice did that look?
Shanahan again has shown some signs, although hasn't had a lot of it today. There are some nice signs for the Eagles going forward there as he kicks to Reid, who marks, cops the boos, goes short to Hutchinson. That's just 15. He wants it back, Harley Reid. He runs past. Hutchinson's trying to draw the man. Dockers just sit off him. Eventually he just kicks it himself up towards half-forward, flying from behind. Couldn't take the mark. It was Reid. That was Archer Reid. Coming down, Banfield laid the tackle. Through traffic, Kelly laid the don't argue on Clark, then slipped over. Got the handball back to Hewitt. It goes back to Hutchinson. They've coughed it up, the Eagles. On the commentary side, Amos tackled by Reid. Has the ball free in one arm. It's got to be holding the ball. It is.
That's a really skillful tackle from Harley Reid to make sure that the ball still stayed free while maintaining a grip on the other arm. Really skillful.
Fremantle fans could not like it, but he had one arm clearly free. And if you do, you have to try and dispose of it. Great tackle by Harley Reid. He has it just forward of the commentary wing.
So Reid for the Eagles, or one of them, there's three out there today. Harley, Archer in blue and gold, and Murphy in the purple. Kicks to Hutchison, who has it at right half forward. Goes on a run, delivers inside forward 50. Flynn tries to bring it to ground. Spills out towards Bolton. Immediately tackled. Two Eagles got him. Flynn was one of them. The other side of that, it's Baker, I think it is. Ball up the call. Inside West Coast forward 50. Thrown aloft. One down by Flynn to Dewar on the ground as the sub. His short kick intercepted by McDonald. Looked like he was taken high, and eventually he will get the free kick. Oh no, it's gone the other way.
Holding the ball.
Holding the ball call, and Kelly has it. Now, I heard the whistle, and I'm convinced there was a high that was missed out of all of that.
Could it have been the potential duck?
No, that's not. Yeah, I don't think that's a duck. I reckon... I mean, that's one or the other, which they've paid the holding the ball call, but I reckon Kelly's got McDonald high. Anyway. Not sure Not sure what else to say, though. He had to go one way or the other, and they picked out the free kick to the Eagles from this. Here is Tim Kelly. Right in front, 40 outs. And on the stroke of three-quarter time, he kicks his second. And he stands there and says to his teammates, throw your arms around me. Let's get something going in this final term. The Eagles bring the margin back to 30 points at the final change. Fremantle at 10-16-76. West Coast on the siren, moved to be 7-4-46. And for the Dockers, the goal kickers look like this. Both Frederick and Young have 3. Amos has got a couple, Boss with 1 and Dudley with 1 as well. While for West Coast, Cripps with 2, Kelly with 2, Brockman with 1, Reid with 1 and Baker with 1. Competing at three-quarter time, Fremantle's lead is 30 points after they led by 22 at half-time and by 28 at quarter-time. Earlier today, Gold Coast by 66 points over Brisbane. Long kicking 4, with Rao being regarded as the best on ground. But we'll get the thoughts of our experts in just a moment, wherever you're listening. On ABC Radio, Sport Digital and streaming on the ABC Listen app. This is Saturday Arvo Footy on ABC Sport.
Where else will you find free fun and games? Teens being boss, hard quiz, boiled by kids, and of course...
Do not watch this show!
Find them all where it's always free, always fun for the family. ABC iView.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Chapman can't gather it immediately. Ryan tries to impose some pressure. Chapman tackled! Wrapped up by Baker, that's holding the ball. Liam Baker, 25 metres out. And he puts it through for West Coast. Tapped down by Cripps in the direction of Owies. And it's stolen away by the Dockers. Here's Chapman. Kicks towards Murphy Reid. Runs inside forward 50. Measures the kick. Caresses it to Amos. And he marks in the left forward pocket. Amos, we're right behind it. He's got it.
Out of the middle go the Dockers. Maybe they've been sparked. Sarong to Darcy to Bolton. Short kick to Switkowski. Takes the mark, bounces to his feet, kicks it towards Voss, who marks. In he comes. Patrick Voss. Set, shots. There it is, the celebration.
Reid tackle, ball jut out to Murphy Reid. To Switkowski. Came towards Voss. To Brayshaw. Broke the attempted tackle of Hoff. Hands it off to Young. Young. Terrific goal. His third.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
We're all going in different directions depending where you happen to be next. If you're in SA, WA or the Northern Territory, we're off to the showdown. Adelaide versus Port Adelaide. If you're listening to us throughout Victoria and Tasmania, the rivalry between the vertical stripes and the hoops, North Melbourne and Geelong. Matt Clinch is there for us.
Yes, Clint, with the 4 interstate rivalries, it's hard to find the comparison between North Melbourne and Geelong other than the colours are blue and white. But the Cats are 12 wins and 7 losses, vying for a top 4 finish. Currently in 6th, needing to make up ground following their loss to the Giants a fortnight ago. They're unchanged following their 31-point win over St Kilda last week, and they have won their last 13 matches against the Kangaroos, dating back to round 15, 2015. For North, 4 wins so far for the season, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak after going down to the Sydney Swans by 31 points last week, and still no Tristan Sherry or Nick Larkey, so it will be a tough task for the Kangaroos under the lid tonight. As mentioned, we'll keep you across the Wallabies, the showdown. Looking forward to bringing it to you with Adam Ramanaskas, Cameron Ling, Lauren Borden and Lex Pesce on the boundary. It's North Melbourne and Geelong.
Good on you, Clinchy, thanks very much. Let's get the thoughts of our experts, Peter Bell and Sharad Willingham, here on ABC Sport.
Well, it's been a 2-point margin by my reckoning since quarter time, so very much an arm wrestle type of game, and given the respective positions on the ladder, Fremantle to this point would be disappointed. Well, their fans would be, and the game's alive, Shad.
Yeah.
Really, 5 goals is a big margin, obviously, but you wouldn't say that it's impossible. Yeah, so... and it really will come down to, in my opinion, what kind of attitude Fremantle have in this last quarter, whether they're willing to roll the sleeves up and get to work and pay the price, essentially. So I thought they went away from that. I thought there were a few people looking to pad stats, easier sort of options. There wasn't a lot of patience or composure in their game, with exception players like Switkowski. Murphy Reid was another one who just took some care with the ball and didn't get into that sort of turnover type game.
Some ownership of the moment type stuff, recognising what needs to be done and not just kind of what you feel like doing.
And I thought when they showed a bit more composure, that enabled their key forwards to actually get some opportunities and get some looks. In the first half, they'd only had one goal. The key forwards, the Fremantle key forwards, even though they'd looked threatening, they managed to get a couple of goals, one through Voss, one through Amos in that third quarter, and they looked so much more dangerous, just taking a bit more care and a bit more time with the footy.
Take out that 7 or 8 minute window where they scored the 5 goals. It's actually been relatively even so far. Can West Coast get it back to a 2-goal game? Probably not. I don't think that Fremantle will allow that to happen, but from a Fremantle point of view, you'd really like to see them, like you said, tighten the screws and just really go about it with a workmanlike attitude and put away a team in 18th position on the ladder, the way a team who's vying potentially for a top 6, top 4 spot.
Andrew Brayshaw leads all comers with 24 disposals for the Dockers. Shea Bolton has 20, 18 apiece to Murphy Reid and Hayden Young. For the Eagles, Tim Kelly found a bit of form, 20 touches and 2 goals. Tom McCarthy and Ryan Marrick with 17 disposals apiece. It's the Dockers by 30 points heading into the final term.
1 quarter to come of Derby 61. Can the Eagles fight it out? Can Freo get a percentage boost? And Darcy wins the tap and gets a kick away towards left half forward. Hall slapping it back for the Eagles to Marrick. Under pressure, got a hand pass away. Hit the deck. Hall gathers, hand pass to Marrick again. Now to Harley Reid. Decides to get a kick along the ground, but scooped up beautifully by Chapman. Genuine skill. Moved it on towards Young. And then it came towards Brayshaw to Murphy Reid, and he stabs the pass to Jackson, who thought about playing on for a moment to Murphy Reid.
And you know what I'm going to say?
I know what you're saying.
How far did that one go?
About 4 metres. You wouldn't want to be buying property from that umpire, because there is no way that was anywhere near the required distance to be a mark. But Jackson, he won't mind. Neither will those in purple around the stadium.
Yeah, that went 8 or 9 metres.
Yep.
Oh, I think you're being generous with 8 or 9.
Oh, it's so hard. Must be so frustrating for players.
In the meantime, a shot on goal coming from the Jackson mark. 45 metres out from goal. Hard up against the boundary. He's a freak. He's got his first and would have had almost nothing to look at between the big sticks. What a player he's going to become. He already is. But there's still plenty of improvement ahead of Luke Jackson. Fremantle's lead is out to 36 points. 11-16-82. West Coast 7-4-46. The Dockers with the first in the opening 90 seconds of the final term. This is Saturday Arvo footy on ABC Sport from Perth Stadium. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner, our experts, Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
2 things I want to comment on. I don't think Fremantle's handled the ground ball well today. Heath Chapman, that was a brilliant ground ball. Clean as a whistle.
Didn't break stride either.
Yeah, and sometimes you just need the ball in the right hands. Luke Jackson has kicked 11 goals too from his shots this year, and now it is 12 goals too.
Murphy Reid adding a bit of class out there today as well. 19 disposals, finding a lot of the ball. Back in the middle. Oh, Darcy down to Young. Almost perfect. Young just couldn't quite take possession. Set play almost nailed by the Dockers instead. The Eagles managed to stop them in their tracks. Darcy v Bailey Williams. Free kick Dockers. Advantage taken. Sarong inside 50. Jackson couldn't mark. Bazzo did well. Oh, stolen by Bolton. Left foot dribbler from the pocket. Showtime Shea with a Derby special. Kicks one of the goals of the year, does Shea Bolton. He stole it out of Bazzo's hands, running towards the boundary in the left forward pocket, and dribbled it on his left side. He is all class, Shea Bolton. And the cream is rising to the top. Bolton gets his first goal of the day, and the margin very, very quickly inside 3 minutes has gone out to 42 points. 12-16-88 Fremantle, 7-4-46 West Coast. Wellingham, Bell in the box with us.
Oh, that was special, wasn't it? Literally plucked out of Bazzo's hands. He's had 2 hands wrapped around it, and then the finish, left dribbler. Hasn't had a huge impact today, but, you know, that's owning the moment, and he's done that.
Bounce to restart. Darcy pumped it down, but straight to Baker of the Eagles. He immediately kicks West Coast inside forward 50. Liam Ryan flew, and he's had his arms chopped in the marking contest. And he can go back and have a shot from this free kick. He's right in front. Will put boot to ball from 40 out.
The signal was for a hold.
Hold, yeah, against Luke Ryan in the marking contest there.
Okay. A slight tug of the jumper, maybe.
He's got his left arm on the jumper, and he's made contact with his right arms.
And kind of thrown him down after the marking attempt.
There was a bit going on. Liam Ryan is in. His shot at goal misses. To the left-hand side. Another behind. He's now got a couple today.
And I think they're both from directly in front as well.
0.3 next to Ryan's name. They're ugly figures. 0.3, goodness me. 12-16, 88 to 7-5, 47. Dockers over the Eagles, 4:30 gone in the last.
Kick out to the wing, looking for Bolton behind. In front, Brock knocks it down. The Dockers take it away, though, to Jackson. Handball in front of Hayden Young. Attacking side of the centre circle. Running away from Cripps. He kicks it inside the forward 50, and Tracy marks. He's just beyond the paint, in fact. Ruben Jinby stands the mark, 51 out. He's got the journey here.
Absolutely, as he should go back, take
He
30.
wants a target. Andrew Brayshaw sitting next to him saying, have a shot. Instead, he kicks it up, looking for Frederick, can't take the mask. Switkowski, Rose, snaps, goals.
Touched. A lot of appeals from the West Coast players for touched.
We'll go to the review. Looking at the reaction from the players, it was a half-hearted celebration from the Dockers.
Yeah, and about 5 or 6 players' arms all went up. And
okay, here we go. Looking at the replay, it might be Sandy Brock's hand. Yes, it is. Sandy Brock just gets the left hand across in the pack and got a finger on it. So take off the goal. It'll be 12-17, 89 Fremantle, 7-5, 47 West Coast. The margin will now be 42 points. 6 minutes played in the final term.
Saturday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. This is Derby 61. Glad you could be with us wherever you're listening around the nation as the Eagles go towards right half back. The kick into Marek to Jimby. That's a good mark under pressure. Moves it short to Hoff. Decides to play by hand back to Jimby. Has the blonde mullet flowing behind him as he goes on a run and then kicks towards centre half forward. Off the hands of Clark. Spill down to Ryan of the Eagles. Kicks into the left forward pocket. Hutchison tapped it over his head. Archer Reid was there and he's just shepherded over the boundary line by Oscar McDonald for a throw-in. About 52 out from the Eagles attacking goal. They're heading to the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium in this, the final term. Fremantle lead by 42 points. Brayshaw has had it 25 times. Bolton 21 for the Dockers. Kelly, who's on the bench at the moment, 20 times for the Eagles. And the throw-in. Dockers are able to hack it forward towards centre wing. Murphy Reid overran it. Jackson didn't. Tackled by Marek to ground. Ball up the core on true centre wing, northern side of Perth Stadium.
And they're going to go for it, West Coast. Ruben Jimby has signalled that intent, which is what you'd expect in this situation.
Flynn v Darcy. Luke Jackson's there playing midfielder. That was the intended target. He became tackler. He dispossessed Flynn. Umpire said play on. Switkowski through traffic for the Dockers. Got it to Darcy. Out to Brayshaw. What a day he's having. Takes the bounce. Kicks towards half forward and Hayden Young marks. 55 from home. He's wheeling around. Looking for a target. Goes to the goal square. Big fist from Cole. Knocks it down. It's off hands. Out of bounds. Well, we had the journey as well. Hayden Young, if he really wanted to. Already has 3 goals today. He's played just a quarter coming into today in the last couple of months of the season. All spun back in. Darcy to the front to Murphy Reid for the Dockers, who is gang tackled. The ball somehow comes out. Umpire let it go. Hutchinson handballs along the ground to Bolton. Followed up with a tackle. Dispossessed in. The Dockers have it back. O'Meara to Brayshaw, to Young, right forward pocket, he's tackled. And they will ball it up again. Bit chaotic in there. It's inside the Dockers attacking 50 as the umpire tosses it in the air.
One down by Darcy, tapped it inboard, bounces off players, comes back to Darcy of the Dockers, shovels a hand pass along the ground. Marek sliding out, takes it over the boundary line for the Eagles. Deep in there, defensive 50. 12-17-89 the Dockers, 7-5-47 West Coast. Spun back in again. Flynn palmed it down. Jackson tried to tap it. Comes out again towards Flynn. Young stole it away, and then he's dispossessed. It comes out again to Baker. He'll move it on towards Brock, who kicks towards left half back. Reed taps it down. Cleverly done, so into the path of Liam Ryan. Running in a straight line. He keeps going towards left half forward. Kicks inside forward 50. Great smother. Coming across, Amos got in front of Cripps and then taps it over the boundary line. He was absolutely determined then, Jai Amos. Not the end of the ground you normally expect to see him, but a great effort. And we get the official crowd, 54,384. So bigger than the round 3 derby that was 53,289. Great crowd in again here at Perth Stadium.
Ball at half forward for West Coast. Toss back in. Clark through traffic. Was tackled immediately by Brady Hoff. Now ball it up again. On the paint of 50 at left half forward. The Eagles kicking to the left of our commentary position. The Graham Farmer freeway end. Somehow from the restart it was tapped down to Baker. He got a kick forward off the ground. Inside 50. Warner tracked it back for the Dockers. Under pressure he handballs to Clark, who tries to clear the kick outside defensive 50. It's off hands to Brayshaw to Bolton, who Brayshaw was just thrown to ground well after the play, and that is pure frustration from Liam Baker. Not sure he was under any illusion that Brayshaw still had the ball. He just threw him to ground, and Brayshaw has the free kick at right half back. Goes short by foot to Luke Ryan, to Shea Bolton, who takes a cheeky little bounce. Handballs to Jager O'Meara, to Murphy Reid. Breaks away from 2 Eagles. He's so elusive, this young rising star. Handball across to Luke Ryan, who chips it in the middle to Luke Jackson. Handball to Carl Warner. Back to Murphy Reid. He's got it again. He's got the ball on a string. He kicks to Frederick, who can't mark, but bounces to his feet and snaps. That's 4 for Freddie. Michael Frederick has his 4th. That's why he is in the Fremantle Dockers team. And that's what Murphy Reid can bring. They can be exciting when they want to be the Dockers. 13-17-95, 7-5-47. That's West Coast. It's a 48-point margin. 11 minutes into the final term. Sharrod Wellingham, Peter Bell.
Murphy Reid.
How does he get out of those situations?
It's his hips. I don't know if the comparisons have been drawn, but he moves his hips and gets low, similar to the way Gary Ablett Jr. used to. And I know that's going to be a huge rap to put on somebody, but he moves very similarly.
It's the first time he's had more than 20 disposals in a game, Murphy Reid. 21 now. So that is the first time he's ticked over that. A catch photo downstairs.
Fremantle have made their sub. Neil Erasmus is on and into the centre bounce, and Hayden Young has been subbed off.
13 score involvements to go with Reid as well, which is exceptional.
Ball back in the middle. Spinnaker's away for the Dockers as Jackson palms it down, but Hewitt got there first in front of Erasmus. Gets a kick towards right half forward for the Eagles. It bounces over the boundary line, and insufficient intent's the call.
It's good management by Fremantle, isn't it, with Hayden Young coming from the ground, coming back from those hamstrings. Smart management.
O'Meara will take the free kick, but he couldn't get it past the diving effort of Liam Ryan. Great smother from Ryan, spilled out to Bolton, and he sent that back towards the boundary line, and this will be insufficient intent again.
What is he expected to do there?
It's not the point, unfortunately. The point is he didn't try to keep it in play enough. Liam Ryan takes the free kick, puts it back into the middle of the ground for the Eagles, but Sarong was there. Got the ball out onto the burst as Bolton runs through the logo southern wing to O'Meara into the left forward pocket. Voss read it better. Was able to outmark Bazzo. 45 from goal in the left forward pocket.
Bazzo was in a little bit of a tough position there because Voss already had the drop of the ball and just engaged a little bit of body contact, and the contact actually put him into an even better position for Voss to go back and take that mark.
Speaking of engaging and body contact, where does Voss go if he kicks this? Which Eagle does he head to? Here comes Voss. That's a great looking kick. He raises both arms up into the air to celebrate his second. Get prancing, Paddy. He goes around and leaps into the air in joy against Murphy Reid. You can tell the game is gone. There's no need to put a bit of physical extras on that goal. Fremantle have got their 14th. Boss has got his second. They're 14-7, 101. So the Dockers bringing up the 100 for what is the 5th time this season. And their leaders out to 54 points. West Coast remains 7-5-47. It's a 54-point lead, as I said. 14 gone in the final term of Derby 61 on ABC Sport.
Those half forwards have won a lot of footy for Fremantle. Bolton, 24. Murphy Reid, 21. Sam Switkowski, 17. Big numbers.
Frederick, 4 goals.
Yeah, and Frederick, 4 goals.
It's a damaging half-forward line.
Mosquito fleet of the Dockers. So dangerous. Out of the middle. Jackson to Sarong, who breaks the tackle. Kicks inside 50. Tracy presents, can't mark. Switkowski fall to the ball. Lost it. Coming through Jimby for West Coast. Tough. Handballed it out to the commentary wing where Cripps could gather. Handball across to Kelly. The kick up the wing. Looking for Shanahan, who... If you want to take a positive out of this game, Eagles fans, Job Shanahan's taken a number of terrific grabs under pressure.
He just looks graceful as a key forward. Very smart player, uses his body well and effortless.
Goes back to Jimby, just forward of left half back, who comes back to the commentary side to Baker. Handball across to Tom McCarthy. Spearing kick towards Jamie Cripps, 55 metres out from goal. Cripps goes short, looking for Ryan on the lead. Good mark. Under pressure from Chapman. He's thinking about it, Liam Ryan. Chapman's standing right on the paint of 50. There's a lead on inside the 50. It's Baker. And he just chips it over to his fellow Subiaco product. He finds him on the chest. He'll have a set shot from 40 metres out. Tidy Shangle to the left.
Just caught themselves a little bit flat-footed there, Fremantle, in the D50.
Just 2 goals for the year coming into this game. He's kicked 1 already, Liam Baker. He can double his season tally today, and he has. Kicks the set shot straight through the middle. And it won't do much for the result, but it might put a smile on some Eagles fans' faces as the cheer squad waves the banners behind the goals. 8-5-53 West Coast, 14-17 101 Fremantle. Margin is 48 points. Baker has 2. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wheeldon in the box with us, Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
Not sure who the transition was from, but Baker definitely took a mark up on centre wing and then pushed hard forward to put that lead on for Liam Ryan. But yeah, it was just a little bit switch off early, wasn't it, from Fremantle in the defensive? They probably got into their spots nice and quick, but then just went flat-footed, and the late lead from Baker. Nice decision from Ryan as JL in the box shakes his head, probably for that reason, just caught flat-footed.
Been very good today, Liam Baker. Interesting to see Jai Amos playing up the field, even to the point now where he's starting on the wing.
Yep. Darcy,
free kick
exposed to Flynn, and Flynn will get the free kick here.
Just a grab, wasn't it? A little bit unnecessary, dragged him down.
So Flynn, for West Coast, just stands at the edge of the centre circles, takes a few steps to his right and kicks long inside foot. Reid flew with the Harley variety, couldn't mark, spills down off his chest, comes down towards Cox, then to Clark, got it on to Ames, by hand to Brayshaw. That's disposal 29 now for him. To Clark again, and that's a beautiful kick to Erasmus, who marks it right half back. Baker with 21 disposals, and so too Kelly. They're the best for West Coast. Brayshaw, as I said, with 29. Bolton 24, and Young, who's been subbed out with 23. Kicks down the commentary wing. Well, one down nicely then by Brock. Spills in the direction of Baker. Oh, got taken high by Erasmus. He was a little bit lucky. Bounces up Baker. Works it on quickly to McCarthy with the helmet on. Kicks inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Off hands. Spills down in the direction of Bailey J. Williams. His hand pass intercepted by Erasmus. His hand pass, though, goes direction of Cripps, who was happy to take it. Hand pass to Baker. Kicks towards Shanahan. By Job, that's a good mark in the left forward pocket. Diving forward. Was able to hang on to it. Took a chunk of turf out of the ground as well.
I reckon that's probably in his cheek too.
He stabs it short. Now that's called play on. And I reckon that was longer than about 3 or 4 others that they've called as a mark. Cripps had to go back to Harley Reid, and they turn it over the Eagles, looking for a way forward as Clark goes beyond defensive 50. Tracy falling backwards, couldn't mark. It's away and off his hands. The pressure came from Jinby next to him. And right beneath our broadcast position on the northern wing, we've got ourselves a throw-in. Fremantle lead now by 48 points, 18 and a bit gone in the final term. Derby 61 on ABC Sport.
Flynn and Darcy go at it again. Flynn once again got a hand in there, tapped it down to the front. Brayshaw though for Fremantle, gathered it, handball to Frederick. Now Erasmus, here comes the run of Clark. Receives, running through the middle of Perth Stadium, kicks up towards half forward where Voss can mark right on the paint. Sees Murphy Reid inside the forward 50, he drops into the hole and takes the mark. And he is having some sort of day, Murphy Reid, which I will say, we say that almost every week.
I'm a big fan of Dan Curtin and what he's done in his second year of footy, but I'm a little perplexed how it's now just an absolute certainty, apparently, that Dan Curtin's going to win it. Yep. This guy's been pretty good all year.
Is that the...
Yeah, he's into favourite, Dan Curtin.
Alongside Levi Ashcroft at Brisbane. Murphy Reid in front of goal, in front of the Freo fans. And they rise as one because they found a star in Murphy Reid. He has been involved in everything today. And his 22nd disposal yields his first goal. Fremantle 15-17, 107. West Coast 8-5, 53. The game might be over, but the race for the rising star certainly is not. Put some respect on Murphy Reid's name.
Put some respect on it. He started up at that stoppage, and it was the stoppage once again. Their ability to shape from inside to out the contest. I think it was Frederick just standing ready to receive, and every West Coast player around him just got drawn in, and then all the Fremantle runners are in a mountain of space. A little bit of cramping going on for Murphy Reid, which when you watch his work rate is understandable.
Needs a few more games on the big stages, Murphy Reid, I think.
Yeah, need to get some eyes over here.
Correct. That one down here by Darcy came out in the direction of Harley Reid. Tackled by Sarong. They turn it over, and the Dockers immediately Spinnakers aloft towards left half forward. Voss couldn't gather. Scooped up by Hutchison for West Coast. Hands it again here to McCarthy. Almost run down by Dudley. Just got the hand pass away. Bounced in front of Hutchison. O'Driscoll applied pressure. Worked it though to Brock. Kicks in the direction of Hoff. That's a good mark up against the Rasmus. Had to be strong, both with hands. Been able to ride the bump with the body. Hoff wobbles a kick back inside the centre square. It's with McCarthy. Kicks inside forward 50. Reid, front position. Harley up to mark. Harley Reid for West Coast, who kicked a terrific goal earlier on. Fully on the run, now has a set shot from right in front, and he certainly can make the distance.
Yeah, not sure what the boos have been like. He's been very mature today, by and large. He's had a few little skirmishes with Jager O'Meara, but they both had smiles on their faces.
It's the pantomime boo, Billy.
Okay.
Harley Reid from right in front, 47 out. He's given that an almighty roost, and that's his second.
Didn't bother him much.
No. For West Coast, they are the special two today. Harley Reid, he puts their 9th on the board, and both of the goals were terrific. One fully on the run, and then one from the top of the 50 arc. 9-5-59 West Coast, 15-17, 107 Fremantle, 23 gone in this final term. Fremantle's lead cut back to 48 points in front of, again, the crowd of 54,384.
Elijah Hewitt lucky to not give away a free kick in that contest, actually, but umpires obviously had their eyes firmly planted on Harley Reid. It's been a Reid show today.
Yes.
Your surname's Reid. A pretty good chance of being involved on the scoreboard. It's 14 score involvements for Murphy Reid.
Derby could be called the Reid Rendezvous from now on.
There we go. New name for it. Not quite the Pineapple Grapple in Queensland. The Eagles out of the middle. Handball to Matt Flynn. Kicking, looking for Bailey Williams. Slides. Can't mark. Tackle applied in that left back pocket by the Fremantle defenders. The right forward pocket for the West Coast Eagles will have a ball up as very slow to get to his feet is Harley Reid. He's a little ginger as well as he limps away from this contest. Ball tossed in the air. Darcy tapped it into the advantage of the Fremantle players. It goes through hands now. Banfield to Warner. Tucks up against the boundary line on the southern side. He kicks up looking for Tracy, who takes the mark. Immediately rolls. Kicks inside the forward 50 into the path of Switkowski. It was centimetre perfect. He couldn't take the mark. Duggan did well. Switkowski did better. And the snap is as good as it gets. Straight through the middle. Fremantle celebrate again. Sam Switkowski gets his first goal of the day, and boy does he deserve it. 16-17, 113 the Dockers, 9-5-59 the Eagles. It's a 54-point margin, 24 minutes gone. The cash voted are downstairs.
Yeah, not good news here for West Coast. Harley Reid is limping off in the hands of the doctor and the physio. He looked fairly concerned when he was sitting there in the forward pocket. Even Luke Ryan from Fremantle was standing next to him, checking on him with his hand up. So he's looking fairly proppy as he's coming off with the trainers at the moment.
That's a great pick-up, well off the ball from Akash Fodadar downstairs. Even before the TV cameras spotted it. Tony Cripps goes across just to have a quick word with the young Eagles star. He's taken his hands away from the trainers. He wants to run off the ground himself here, Harley. He's tried to get a run up and then has had to slow down again. And this is a nice touch, I would say, from the Fremantle supporters who've got stuck into him all day. I would say it's the pantomime boot because he's one of their best, West Coast. But they're applauding him off the ground as a hurt player. So that's a touch of class from Fremantle supporters when it mattered, showing their appreciation for what Harley Reid has done today. Shocking bounce in the middle, and they'll bring that back. 16-17, 113 to 9-5-59. West Coast will be frustrated by the fact they've not really been able to eat into the Dockers lead late on in this game. It's been around about the 54 to 48 point margin for the last 10 minutes or so, but Fremantle, they'll be able to give their percentage a bit of a boost from the restart. Off the hands of Darcy, down to Kelly for the Eagles. Scoops it up. Hampers was met for Hewitt. Got crunched by Switkowski going by. Hewitt's in real trouble. He's remained down, and immediately Kelly and Baker go towards him. There's going to be a pause here. The player's too close to where the ball was going to be thrown aloft, and Hewitt's up off the ground.
Right in the ribs, I think.
Just seen the replay. Sharrett, Peter?
Yeah, under the shoulder. Really, really uncomfortable. Nothing untoward from Switkowski. It was clean. No head contact whatsoever, but just a really, really uncomfortable position to get hit from for Hewitt.
Hewitt, the youngster, 21 years of age, has told the trainers he's okay. He's pushed himself into the forward line from the restart. Kelly got a hand pass out to Brockman for the Eagles. Flynn had it knocked out of his grasp by Erasmus. It came again to Darcy, to Erasmus, now to Bolton. It opens up for him from the top of the 50-metre arc. Shea sends it long towards goal, but he misses to the right-hand side. A minor score. 16-18, 114. That's the Dockers. The Eagles are 9-5-59. 27 gone in the last. The Cash Fodadar is downstairs.
Yeah, no surprise. Harley Reid went straight down to the Eagles' rooms with the doc. There was some blood coming from his left knee, so it does look like some sort of left knee issue.
The Eagles outside defensive 50. Shanahan the target on this occasion. Cox there to punch the ball away and out of bounds. Of course, the Harley Reid's manager, Nick Geeshan, over here in the West at the moment. Reports of negotiations between Harley and the West Coast Eagles. Might be staying in the West a little longer. Ball tossed in, tapped down by Darcy to Brayshaw. Inside 50, Amos there to receive. Strong mark on the chest, and he'll go back and look for goal number 3. Jai Amos has been a little quiet this season by the standards he's shown to us in the past, but kicked 2 goals last week against Collingwood, an important one in that fourth quarter. Now he's got a chance to kick a third. Back-to-back games of multiple goals. Fremantle look to build this margin late. Jai Amos, the deliberate approach, the perfect finish. And the near-perfect day for the Dockers. Amos has 3. 17-18, 120 the Dockers, 9-5, 59 the Eagles. The margin now 61 points, 28 minutes into the final term. Peter Bell, our experts, alongside Sharad Wellingham.
Beautiful kick inside 50 again from a stoppage. I think the last quarter's probably been a reflection of where the game probably should have sat. There was the arm wrestle period there from the second and third quarter, but the domination, especially from stoppage, their ability to go from inside to out at the stoppage has been incredible. And you look at the score sources, it's now 9 goals, 8, 62 points from stoppage. It has been an absolute domination around the ground.
Dockers on their way to what will be a 9th Derby win in their past 10 meetings against West Coast. These days, the West belongs to the purple. They'll take the clearance again. Sarong, sweeping hand pass, unable to gather it though as O'Driscoll. Hewitt was there, got a hand pass forward to Hutchison, couldn't take it, he left it behind him, had to track back, gathered and then was tackled, and that's holding the ball. Bailey Banfield wrapping him up, he'll get the free kick. Actually, at this ground, Fremantle are going to go ahead in derbies. This is the 15th derby played at Perth Stadium. Fremantle will now lead 8-7, and Banfield's kick is a shocker. Gone down by Baker, got it onto Cripps, works it inside forward 50, Warner tracking back, gathers, runs straight into a Williams tackle, no prior the call. Didn't take him on, was just gathering the football, continued 2 steps and suddenly realised Bailey J was standing in front of him. Ball up, inside forward 50 for West Coast. 25 out from the Eagles' attacking goal at the Farmer Freeway end. Darcy takes clean possession and hurriedly gets a kick away towards left half back. That's a nice mark. Rising up again. Taken again by Shanahan. Oh, sorry, that's not Shanahan at all. It's going Bazzo who took the mark out there. Oh, Ryan! Liam Ryan has risen into the air. And from the pocket where last week he might have kicked goal of the year, that is a genuine contender for mark of the year. What a screaming grab from Liam Ryan. Already has that once before. Only had eyes for it and used Warner as the booster seat to fly into the sky here in Perth. That's a sensational mark, and even the Fremantle fans, ooh, with their amazement and appreciation.
Oh dear, Kelsher.
Liam Ryan looks to snap around the body and he kicks the goal. It was a mark that deserved the major. And he's definitely put himself back in the discussion for both mark and goal of the year in consecutive weeks. Liam Ryan, that was simply stunning.
Well, that was stunning, and it was pretty hard to stay quiet in the second row here, Belly.
Yeah, well, defenders like to be assertive, so stand in front of your opponent. Might want to revisit that when Liam Ryan's behind you, because he's got to sit on your head.
Just we'll be seeing replays of that one. And similarly to we've seen of Gawn.
Yeah, it looked like the Max Gawn mark took, but
very
it wasn't
similar.
as high.
Lower step ladder, but similar kind of technique and...
Lower step ladder. That's very good.
The happiest man in the country right now might be Sam Doherty, who may have just avoided being the poster for the rest of his life after Cal Shadir stood on his shoulders his final game the other night. Back in the middle, the Eagles trying to go forward again. Cripps ends up with the ball in hand, kicks it inside the forward 50, and Dewar takes a nice mark going back with the flight against Banfield. He'll go back and have the set shot directly in front. This is just... the thing that Fremantle don't want to do is just let the Eagles get a couple late goals. They're trying to get a percentage booster. And the Eagles might kick a few in a row here at the back end. Tyrell Dewar. Ball in hand. Will kick from about 45 metres out. Has come on as the sub. And has an impact. Tyrell Dewar kicks the goal in his second derby. And the Eagles are just pouring a couple of goals back late in this game. 11-5, 71 now West Coast. 17-18, 120 the Fremantle Dockers. Margin 49 points late in the fourth term. All of a sudden, it's become somewhat of a high-scoring match.
Yeah.
But neither side could kick a goal for a while.
It is a little bit of an oddity. But, Bell, you do remember that when the heat goes out of the game, you don't really feel like putting your body on the line. You don't really feel like getting injured in the lead up to next week. That's when these goals can creep in, and they've got to, I keep saying it, but keep tightening those screws and make sure that they do hold out because, as you said, actually it's going to be important.
Well, their percentage was up to 112.4. It's just dropped to 111.8. So it is up from 108.9, but with the teams around where they're at, the 13 win mark, Fremantle, it's well off what they would hope to be. Kick goes inside forward 50. Here's Shanahan out, tackled immediately by Oscar McDonald. He's wrapped up. Ball up, 45 out from the Eagles' goal. Pretty much right in front. Umpire puts it aloft. Jackson palmed it down. It's straight there to Hewitt, and Hewitt's been taken high. And he'll get... Well, they've gone the... Yes, they have given it to Hewitt, and he'll be able to have a free kick right in front. I should say in line with the left-hand goalposts. And try and cut that margin a little bit more. It's 49 points at the moment. Every point precious for Freo's percentage. Elijah Hewitt in his fourth derby is 9-8 for the season from right on 50. He's given this everything, and those in blue and gold, they appreciate that effort. He's got his first. And the Eagles landing a few late blows in terms of that margin. It's back to 43 points. Fremantle 17-18, 120. The Eagles at 12-5, 77. Freo by 43 points, as I said. 35 minutes gone now in the final term.
11 goals in this last quarter by my calculation. 6 to Freo, 5 now for West Coast. Good kick from Hewitt, wasn't it?
Yeah, outside 50.
Yep.
Elijah, well, as we know, Elijah's can be miracle workers. He might need to be in the next year or two for West Coast. The Cash Fotodar is downstairs. Cash?
Not sure if you can see it up there when Hewitt was lining up for goal, but Pat Voss was clearly saying something to him, and Hewitt was actually talking to him as he was walking in for goal, and then had a bit more to say after he kicked it as well.
They are two characters, Elijah Hewitt and Patrick Voss. Two pretty good footballers as well. In the middle, Jackson taps it down, looking to Bolton for the Dockers. It was stolen by Bailey Williams. He balks a couple. Now kicks it inside 50. Oh, Shanahan left it for Flynn, who can't take the mark. Gathers though. Handball to Baker. 45 metres out from goal. Trying to spin through, was tackled to ground. Maybe a little hot on the whistle, but Sarong laid the tackle and wins the free kick. Has the ball at centre half back for the Dockers. Quiet day by his standards, just the 20 disposals. Caleb Sarong, but the Dockers have done the job without him. He kicks out to the southern wing. No mark taken. Tackle laid by O'Driscoll on Cole, and they'll have a ball up. Tossed in the air. Jackson taps it to himself. Gets the handball to Murphy Reid. He's been terrific today. Takes a little bounce. Little handball over the top to O'Driscoll. Running down the southern side. Kicks inside the 50. Voss diving like Mark Moore in the slips. He takes it on the chest and he'll go back. He'll kick after the siren from directly in front for his third. And just to put a final exclamation point on the Dockers' victory.
Terrific kick from Nathan O'Driscoll. Inside 50. Hasn't been called on to do a lot of work today, but that man again, Murphy Reid, involved.
It's been a Docker domination in the Derby for the most part of this decade. They'll take the win against the Eagles in Derby 61, and they'll celebrate with Patrick Voss as he kicks his third goal of the day. The Dockers down the Eagles in Derby 61, 18-18, 126 to the Eagles 12-5, 77. It's bragging rights for Fremantle.
We are the Freo Dockers. Freo, way to go. In the real hearts and the ground below. Oh, Freo, giving the old team home. We are the Freo Dockers. We're rollers, we're the rockers. We're the mighty Freo Dockers. We're gonna roll them and we'll rock them. We're gonna send them to the bottom. And if they get up, we'll do it again. The Dockers know
Fremantle by 49 points. They led by 28 at quarter time, by 22 at the half, by 30 at three-quarter time to give their percentage a bit of a boost out to a 49-point advantage just after the siren sounded for full time. 18-18, 126 to the Eagles, 12-5, 77. For the Dockers, Michael Frederick kicked a career-best 4 goals. Voss with 3, Amos with 3, and Young with 3. And singles to Jackson, to Bolton, to Murphy Reid, to Switkowski, and to Dudley. While for West Coast, 2 to Cripps, 2 to Kelly, 2 to Harley Reid, and 2 to Baker. Singles to Liam Ryan, to Elijah Hewitt, to Tyler Brockman, and to Terrell Dewar. Derby 61 belongs to those in purple. Next up for Fremantle, Carlton here at Perth Stadium. It's the late game on Sunday. West Coast will head across to the G to take on the Demons in the early game on Saturday. Fremantle, they pick up their 28th win of the 61 played. Percentage not getting the exact boost that they would have really been hoping for, but nevertheless, for Fremantle, the 4 points were most important in their efforts to try to ensure a spot in the finals in 2025. Win 13 for the Dockers. They're one step closer to securing September action. We'll head downstairs for the trophy presentation in just a moment. First, initial thoughts from Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham on ABC Sport.
Initial thoughts are it was an arm wrestle for the majority of the game, taking out probably 8 or 9 minutes, and I think the Fremantle dominated the areas that they have come to do so frequently in the stoppages. They were just so damaging through the stoppages, but weren't able to capitalise that, which enabled it to be that arm wrestle. If they had been more efficient and probably a bit more diligent with their inside 50s like we've spoken about, it could have been a real blowout. But the decisions that they were making and the way they were playing just enabled it to stay in that little bit of a contest. The scoreboard probably doesn't reflect that. I think the last quarter, Fremantle kicked away as I suspected they would. But there was a little bit of fight there. But the concerning, or I suppose the great part for Fremantle is their stoppage dominance. And score sources.
10 goals, 8.
10 goals, 8. 18 shots from stoppage is huge, as opposed to 5-1. So their ability to go from inside out was just incredible, wasn't it?
It's been a part of the game, and we spoke about it at Sports Talk this morning, and that Fremantle have dropped their scoring from stoppage. I think it's somewhere around 15th in the league.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas, and last year they were number 2 team for stoppage overall, and quite high up for scoring from stoppage as well. So as they've become more of a counter-punch team and been able to score from turnover, they've given up a little bit of that stoppage score. So it's good to see today that they were right back somewhere near their best against a pretty mediocre opposition from a stoppage perspective.
Yeah.
In West Coast, young, inexperienced, undersized rucks up against Darcy and Jackson. So they'll be pleased with that. I think overall, clearly it's a tick box. It could have been a really big margin with a bit more composure and clinical finish. Poor second quarter for Fremantle, and that'll be something they'll have to review hard.
Let's head downstairs for the official announcement of the Ross Glendenning Ben Allen Medal.
And a big thanks, of course, to RAC for your incredible support of our favourite rivalry. RAC are passionate advocates for road safety, and the RAC Derby is an example of how partnerships can be used to drive important community outcomes. Now, before we present the RAC trophy to the winning team, we will now award the Glendenning Allen Medal. The voters for this afternoon are from ABC Radio, Peter Bell; from the West Australian, Jackson Barrett; and from Channel 7, Mark Lacroix. And I'd like you to put your hands together, please, for Ben Allen to present the Glendenning Allen Medal for RAC Derby 61. So let's get to it. The winner of today's Glendenning Allen Medal, with a total of 8 votes from a maximum of 9, from the Fremantle Football Club, and what a way to come back in front of your home crowd, Hayden Young.
Hayden Young winning his first Glendenning Allen medal, was actually subbed off, but 23 disposals before he did, with 3 outstanding goals as well. 7 clearances, 1 tackle.
Firstly, to West Coast Eagles, we understand it's been a tough year for you guys, but we really appreciate that derbies are always a great atmosphere and you always come out and give us a great battle, so thank you very much. To our fans, 54,000 today, unbelievable. You guys have been electric all year. We just had a record membership of 62,000 that was announced earlier in the week, so we thank you so much for your support and let's keep it going.
Congratulations once again, and to get it done in 3 quarters as well. Hayden Young, everyone. It is now my pleasure to invite RAC President Alan Blagajec to present the RAC Derby Trophy to the Fremantle Dockers.
And captain for the day, Andrew Brayshaw, comes across to receive the Derby Trophy.
Yeah, just to reiterate, thanks to everyone for coming out. Atmosphere was awesome. And thank you to RAC for everything you do for road safety in WA. Cheers.
It's all about the sponsors when it comes to Fremantle.
Once again, on behalf of the Fremantle Football Club, the West Coast Eagles, and of course RAC, thanks for being a part of RAC Derby 61.
And as we'll leave the presentations downstairs, love to get your thoughts. If you're with us throughout Victoria, Tasmania, SA and the NT, we'll be staying here at Perth Stadium for the next 20 minutes. If you're with us in WA, we'll stick around for full post-match. We'll head into both rooms and try and take a little bit of the coaches' press conferences as well. We'll go through till 6 o'clock WST before we take you as well to the Showdown 58. But we're with you wherever you happen to be for about the next 20 minutes or so before Victoria and Tasmania head off to North Melbourne and Geelong with Matt Clinch, and then SA and NT go for the preview with Aaron Bryans and the team at Adelaide Oval between Adelaide and Port Adelaide. The Eagles have made their way off the ground. The Dockers will stay out there for the obligatory Derby Trophy photo that will be no doubt on the back page of the West Australian, or potentially even the front page of the West Australian tomorrow. They've now, as I've said, made winning this absolutely something they do with regularity. They've won 9 of the past 10 now and 3 straight. Derby 61 belongs to the Dockers. 18-18, 126 to West Coast, 12-5, 77. And there was all the talk about percentage. No, coaches don't like talking about it, but it makes a difference. Fremantle have added 2.8 points to their percentage. Had it up to at one stage 112 and a bit, but it ended up with 111.7, up from 108.9. They've moved for the moment up into 6th, but they would need North Melbourne to do them an almighty favour if they're to stay there. Of course, Geelong, you would expect, would jump back ahead of the Dockers after tonight's game between the Kangaroos and the Cats. Down into the Dockers rooms very shortly, but let's get some more thoughts from Peter Bell and Sharad Willingham on ABC Sport right around the nation.
Well, they just have to keep winning, Fremantle, first of all, so tick that box. There's clearly some areas that they can improve on, just that composure in front of goal, Shaz, that accuracy where they missed 7 or 8 shots in a row, really, and you wonder what the margin could have been if West Coast had been more dispirited at half-time, if Fremantle had kicked a bit straighter. But what I did like is I'm sure that there were some recalibrations, if you like, at half-time, starting with Josh Tracy out here on the field when he addressed the players, and I'm sure it would have from the senior coach as well. And I just thought they were more business-like, workmanlike in the second half, rather than flirting with, we might be able to get this done without making the necessary investment, which you want the team to put out the unconditional stuff and a style of play, no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the opposition, because that is what finals footy and tough footy demands of you. So that can become a habit, that can become just something that you do. And there were elements of today's game where I just thought Fremantle flirted with that at stages against an opponent that is clearly rebuilding and needing to improve.
I mean, You are 100% correct. But I think that if you get the job done early and you go about it in that way that we're kind of alluding to, you can kind of be a little bit haphazard in the last quarter, or, go a little bit, make easier decisions when it comes to maybe ball in hand. But that doesn't translate to contest. You still have to win the footy and be hard in the contest. But yeah, I think they're not quite in that position where they've proven that they can click in and out of gear. I think that they have to go about business for 100% of the game. They have to continue to show that they know how to play the game for 100% of the game.
Yeah, it's building that habit till it becomes just your DNA.
Yeah.
And look, when you're through the other side and you're an unbelievable team, often you can flirt with that a little bit and whatever else, but you want to build that identity.
They're not there yet.
And they're not. And they redressed that, I thought, or addressed that after half-time. And maybe it's a byproduct, Shaz. They were so dominant then they kicked those goals in such a short period of time.
I was like, this is going to get really ugly really quickly.
Well, I think I mentioned that, but you've got to defy human nature. The human nature in that situation is you breathe out subconsciously and you just start taking it a little bit easier, and then every AFL team, they'll make you pay if you're not 100% invested in the contest. And West Coast were good enough to do that. They narrowed the gap. But in the end, Fremantle were able to get that momentum back and re-establish the DNA that we're looking for.
More from Peter Bell and Sharad Willingham very shortly, but Shea Bolton has carried the Derby trophy down into the Dockers' rooms, and that's where we find a Cash Fotodara. Cash.
Thank you, Clint. Yeah, as you can expect, a fairly happy team down here. The Derby trophy is being placed in the middle. The crowd are very close to the players as well here, so they'll enjoy this song, I'm sure.
Hey, Luke. Freedom, where you go? In real hearts and down below. Oh, freedom, we don't know. We are freedom. Freedom, where you go? In real hearts and down below. Oh, freedom, you don't know. We are the freedom doctors.
Workmanlike, I think Billy described it as, and that's, I think, how the song was as well. Very businesslike from Fremantle, and we should have a Dockers player with us very shortly.
Well, you got to sing this song subdued when there's babies in the circle, because the kids get a little bit freaked out by 23 grown men screaming. I wouldn't call it singing, it's more screaming.
and there were at least 3 babies in arms. So, babes in arms does make it a bit hard to go absolutely over the top when it comes to the club song. The Dockers, as they always do, will head off for their meeting and we'll have a chat to someone. Mitch Turner's been good enough to head down to the West Coast room, so we'll hear from the Eagles as well. And a reminder to stick around, because we'll, here in WA at least, be able to bring you the 2 press conferences from both the coaches, Andrew McQualter and from Justin Longmuir. The Eagles now all but condemned to pick up the wooden spoon. It was all most likely to happen anyway, but just the 1 win for the year. West Coast, they remain stuck to the very bottom of the ladder with 4 points. Fremantle with their 13th win. Lots to talk about. If you'd like to get involved, feel free to send us a text, an opportunity to read out a couple of your text messages as well. Let's hear this from Frank. Freo were applying the mayo late on. Wonder what you thought about that. This is from Marcus, our regular correspondent from South Melbourne, who we know is a big Freo fan. Would like to point out that Murphy Reid is from the Southern Districts Football Club, whose ground is directly opposite the Grand Prix track in Albert Park, which he can see from his flat. So that's always useful to know. I appreciate that.
Whatever they're doing there at Southern Districts, was it? They're doing a good job if Murphy Reid's the emblem for the footy club.
I really draw comparisons in the way he moves to Gary Ablett.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that before. So what parallels do you draw between those two?
His lateral movement and his ability to get low and twist his hips in contest is what he's so hard to tackle. And his running patterns are really similar as well, in the way that he runs across the ground and links up in chains. I spent plenty of time watching Gaz up close, and I really see a lot of similarities in the way that they move, and it's bright. It's a bright future that he's got ahead of him.
And what is exciting, he's in his first year, so after 3 or 4 years in the gym and harnessing and building on that power and that natural evasion and movement that he has, there's no doubt that he'll play a lot more midfield over the next decade or so, maybe not next year and whatever, but that's exciting for the way that he sees the game and the way that he can bring his teammates into it. He's never flustered, and just watching him late, two things, his work rate through the whole game was through the roof, and late, he's quicker than you think as well. He can accelerate a bit more than what people are giving him credit for. You see the Langwood movement. When he needs to go, he can go.
Yeah, and I just love what he does with the ball forward of centre as well, and I think that's a really important part of what Freo has been missing. The bringing in of Shea Bolton was obviously that kind of missing puzzle piece that they thought they had, but then to add the drafting of him into that, I think that it is a really, really significant pickup for Fremantle, and his ability to... He knows pressure's coming. He'll wait, and find the right position, right decision. And it might be he's got a gaze of view that is, it's right. It's nearly at that 180 degrees, so that if anything's on, he can go on the outside of the boot that we've seen a number of times, pull it across the body. His decision making is so wide in what he can pick off. It's incredible, which is another thing that Gaz was able to do as well.
Well, he's a steal at pick 17, and look, there's some talented players taken in front of him, but exactly what Fremantle were looking for. And I think it was a couple of weeks ago that stat became known about the best kick inside 50 in the AFL in season 2025, and at that stage it was Pat Lipinski by a long way, and then Murphy Reid second, and then a long gap to third and everyone else. So to do that in your first year in a team that is not renowned for its forward system and spacing, Fremantle is still working that out. I just think is so exciting for Fremantle.
And you mentioned it. Well, we mentioned it during the third or fourth quarter, but the smalls for Fremantle today were incredible. Frederick kicking 4. How many did Reid end up with other than assists? I think did he kick 2 in the end?
He just kicked the one.
Just the one,
but he had the score assists, and he's involved in a lot of chains. Switkowski also was involved in a lot of score chains with the customary pressure. So getting a lot out of their small forwards and the numbers.
Not a huge amount of goal. Yeah, I'm saying goals, but I felt like they were involved throughout the passages of play so much. Bolton had 1-3, but he's had the 25 touches. Switkowski's had the 18 and 1. That forward line, which, as you said, probably hasn't been something that Fremantle have done really well, that high half forward, they just seem to be absolutely priming at the moment.
And even Dudley, particularly early, came in and gave Fremantle something. So they've got a bit of depth there, and we know that it is a small forwards game, both for finish, but also that work rate up and back. And it's a nice blend, isn't it? You got Bolton's brilliance. Don't underestimate the work rate with Bolton. Switkowski, the structure, the forward pressure, the discipline, plus the ballistic movement, and Reid, who's a bit of a jack of all trades, and Frederick, who just runs up and back and can finish when required. So.
And today I didn't feel like it was the key forwards who had a huge impact. But to be able to have Amos, Tracy, and Boss
has ended up with the 3, yeah.
Like, it is a really, really exciting forward line for Fremantle.
Well, all 3, I can't remember if they've all sort of fired on the same day for Fremantle, but that's the beauty of the 3. If you get 2 of the 3, so Amos and Voss combined for 6 today. Tracy doesn't kick a goal, but still had presence and still so important from a leadership perspective. And you just know if teams, okay, we're going to, that's 9 goals in the last 2 weeks for Pat Voss. Maybe we need to bump him up with the second choice defender rather than the third. And then all of a sudden Tracy can bob up and influence. So, and that's the beauty of that even contribution.
Hayden Young, in what was not even 3 quarters. He was subbed off at the 21-minute mark of the third term, and yet easily...
He's got 8 out of the 9 votes. So I voted the 3 for Hayden Young, and you always worry a little bit just around game time, but he was just so impactful.
And they protected him, I think, was it during the second quarter? Or we don't know that, but we're assuming that he might have been protected a little bit of a longer stint.
On the bench.
We need to head down into the Fremantle rooms. They're ready to chat to us. So Cash voted up.
Thanks, Clint. I've got the 4-goal hero for Freo with me, Michael Frederick. Michael, well played. Another good win. How important was it to back up, 2 good wins against top sides in Hawthorn and Collingwood? How important was it to back up again today, the Derby?
Yeah, it's always important to kind of knuckle down and get another 4 points, especially knowing the past few years in derbies, West Coast have been able to just fight out throughout the whole game and be able to have an arm wrestle for 4 quarters. And in the past, it's taken us genuinely 4 quarters to break them. But I think today we played a bit of our brand and a little bit of it slipped away at times. And, we had a lot of scoring shots as well. So just a bit of composure and things like that we can work on. But, I think we got our game going and, got good looks at times, but I think we could have been a little bit better here and there, but I guess a win's a win.
You mentioned you didn't have it all your own way, and they came hard at you in the second quarter in particular, and then you guys started the third quite well. What did Justin say at half-time about how the game was going and what he wanted you guys to do?
We just wanted to get the game on our terms with our pressure. I think at times, we're just giving them easy forward kicks, and that's something we scouted that they do really well. They're short 45 and things like that, and I think early our defence was all right, like our team defence and things like that, but at times we got pulled apart, and that's their game. That's been their game for a fair while too. Like they like their short kick and composure with the ball. So we just had to be patient with our team D. And once we got that sorted, we just had to get our contest right out long down the lines and things like that. And I think that held us in good stead. So we got the game on our terms. But yeah, I guess we can build a lot from some room for improvement.
4 goals for yourself. You're up to 26 now for the season. How have you felt about your own form this season, and how nice was it to get some reward on the scoreboard today?
If I'm honest, I think it's been a bit of a funny season. Definitely have some up and downs, but I think as a collective with our forward line, if you look across the board, there's been a pretty even contribution, whether it's our high forwards or tall forwards, small forwards or tall forwards, and I think today just displayed that again. And I know JT had a tough day, but he still brought his contest and pressure and things like that. And, off the back of a lot of that work, I guess you get rewarded. I think inconsistent at times with my own performances, but I think we just keep sticking at it, and we have a thing where we want to value the right things and do it together as a forward line, and I feel like every week we buy into that, and whoever it is pops up for, Vossi pops up for 6-1 one week, and JT kicks 4, or Jiza gets on the scoreboard today. So I guess for us it's just about doing it together, and I think it looked like that today. So, and I was, I guess, the benefactor of that.
Let's head upstairs to our team. We've got a few questions. Clint Wheeldon, our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell.
Rick, congratulations on the win. First of all, I'm really interested, or we're interested in what the discussion was at half-time. It seemed like Josh Tracy was quite vocal.
Yeah, he was a bit fired up. We were just talking about we were a bit unpredictable going into the second half, and then some of our D50 stoppages as well, letting them score easy goals and things like that, and that's something we pride ourselves on, and we got smashed there last week. So we just spoke about predictability and trying to get the game on our terms, because we let them kind of do their own thing and we weren't good enough. So that was what that chat was about.
And the high forwards, which you've just touched on, the blend that you've got there between impacting offensively with ball movement, defensively as well, Switter's pressure, your finish, Murphy Reid, Shea, looks like you've got a really good connection.
Oh, yeah, we certainly do, and just with all the tall forwards as well, I think, we speak about doing it together every week, and, like you just spoke about, like Murphy Reid had his polish today and got up and down the ground really well, and then, Switter's always doing that with his pressure and then getting looks offensively, and I think that's something we pride ourselves on as a high forward group, and we knew we'd get looks if we broke the bubble with how West Coast like to defend and pressure the game. So, I guess on the back of that honest defensive work, we get our offensive looks as forwards in handball chains and things like that, and hopefully open it up for the big boys down there. So, saw a bit of that today.
Freddie, Sharad here. Congrats on the win and the great performance by yourself. Mate, we've been raving about Murphy Reid up here, but what did it look like when he entered the club, and I guess what kind of parallels did you draw to players that you'd seen across the AFL?
Oh, very good question. When he first rocked up, it took me a little bit to figure him out. I used to think he is a very confident young man, and I didn't really get to know him until he started playing forward, because he got drafted as a midfielder, and he had to do a lot of work in I guess learning the forward structures and just playing a different game to how he would in the midfield as an 18-year-old, and I think he really bought into that side of things, and he's learnt a lot. But for him to just be able to play on confidence like we see tonight, I think he thrives on that. But hopefully he can just keep building. I think he's had a great season so far, and I'm not sure if he's exceeded expectation or anything like that, but I think he's valued a lot of the right things, and that's been getting him games every week, and for him to perform like today just shows how much work he's put into his craft, and I love it. I love playing with him.
Michael Frederick with us on ABC Sport. Last one for you. How satisfying, a career high 4 goals today?
Yeah, I think I had mates that told me a few weeks ago that I've kicked 3 like a fair handful of times, so I wasn't thinking about kicking forward, to be honest, but I guess it's nice to knock that off finally. First time in 6 years, so that's nice.
For what it's worth, 9 hauls of 3 and now a 4. Well done. Thanks for chatting.
Thanks.
Carrying on that long tradition of the 32.
Very good from you, Peter Bell. Michael Frederick downstairs, thanks very much for being with us here on ABC Sport. Fremantle by 49 points. They have won Derby 61, 18-18, 126 to West Coast, 12-5, 77. We're off in different directions. Before I release you, well done to Dan, who's rumbled me on the text line. How many different Hottest 100 songs could I squeeze in today? 27, by the way. Well done to you, Dan. He rumbled me. I was having a good time just doing it for my own reconnaissance. Anyway, if you're in Victoria and Tasmania, you're off to North Melbourne and Geelong. Matt Clinch leading the commentary team there. If you're throughout South Australia and the Northern Territory, you're off to Showdown 58, Adelaide versus Port Adelaide. Hope you can stick around right here on ABC Sport. If you're with WA, stay with us. Another half an hour of Derby wrap-up to come.
Every weekend, hear the biggest names in football on AFL Saturday.
Senior coach of the Geelong Cats, Chris Scott. Good to be with you guys. Craig McRae, the premiership coach of the Collingwood Football Club.
Afternoon, Colin. For all the biggest names in footy.
Michael Voss, the senior coach of the Carlton Football Club. Thank you, guys. Damien Hardwick, the coach of the Suns, joins us on ABC Sport.
Afternoon, gents. AFL Saturday with Corbin Middlemass, Nick Malthouse and Luke Ball. Saturdays from midday on your radio and on the ABC Listen app.